Ukokwefu we. Eye how many plot ukokwefu. When Nisa watch a bit na ye mahama odi eka. Or one doga. Untia fertilizer ka utia any fertilizer ka ba. Spray machine any tia ba bi say do. Ye de ka ben. Jade na we na ko papetition bi no na yanko anim. Abane ba tutia mahama. Onu abrada ha. Obewu na otwe ene kwame o yes owu fa ne ndem. Intina otwe se nde ene ye betena se we. Obewu na say ah. To point na Samira na lecture your economy wo. Samira. Hey Ghana ye jibio Samira Bawumia before ba onenam na munduro so we. As be desire Abronye kaba because Abronye me say me mense no me se ka bra na be fight ma Samira na me nkyere mo ade. Samira throughout to warning. Baby ade na nam ne de na mfa wo Kevin e comedian enye me se bra na be ka so be defend Samira. De bi o da na de yemu hyehye de sa de nche no. Every single person in court today is a suspect. They are defending themselves. So why can you tell me say aban we person obeko eye corruption? People ejimi. They can't do anything for us. Bawumia, nanke hu Bawumia da de anke beka say Bawumia abozege. Samiri kunu Bawumia. We know Bawumia.
Wa musa koko fama na o say mahama. O de enka. We den kra o de enka no. Ona we nya. Ora no we nya no di na tem sa no. O say koko ga fo mpe kra ban mamonto. Muntu ntia ma say mahama don ba bi muntu ntia NDC. Mamonto. Eden na mahama de enka na muntua fertilizer. Muntua hwanhwan, muntua hwanhwan. Na bibiesi ewo wiase dwama so. Na mahama kura humobo ama musika de so a. Wase mahama domka. Monko be bintina. Na wase hwan. Bawumia ya ana hwan bi na MPP for ton no. Bawumia we. Oh, enye de no ye vice president ansia ya wo koi. Ono. Do ye Ghana. Yensa manimra. Ah. Wase on kwate na Abronye ne nam. Obodi so na Kevin Taylor ye first comedy no se wo de opa bra kase asema katia Samira no be ba be kwama Samira na Samira nkwa wo da wona Kevin sa dia wo je no ntino da wona wo Samira da wona chese de bia ne nisu so bompa ya asa de be chine keke Kevin sa do be ye no.
This is Boadu TV, truth and integrity.
Edu point na Samira na lecture your economy wo Samira. Hey Ghana ye jibio Samira Bawumia before ba onenam na munduro so we. At a point Ghana na oye no wen Kumasi ayi no betima ya sade we. Enkwasa sebo nyina Kumasi na start. Enkwa on offenso yakwa yeso na offenso hini ka kire se offenso hini ono na te wo no. Offenso hini otrofo na endo na oye jandam no ona da ho te wo no. And you call offenso one day one factory to see ano Samira child ni Samira jantra di way ebe kire Ghana senior ya manage Ghana obotam na ya tena kromo te so nkwase asem we nyina so at a point na ya te Ghana mankofo e de Samira ideas say Samira kura jibitu ejimi che de kurudi ya fa Ghana show mu nsem mo ana mabotam ohu media me say just say ye jimiatu sa jimi biem Samira at a point na Samira na radio to radio e Ghana for mu economy no se ne ebetimi aye nyoma aden oware Bawumia ono Samira na okoje obi aware no Samira na uche kwasi ampanyi boy we edi na Samira dan for beje ni free kwasi somewhere na motete mo Ghana he na last be desire Abronye kaba because Abronye me say me mense no me se ka bra na be fight ma Samira na me nkyere mo ade. Samira throughout to warning. Baby ade na nam ne de na mfa wo Kevin e comedian enye me se bra na be ka so be defend Samira. Me pese MPP ni bi yini ti se ono na be defend Samira between me ne Samira. Ni anhwe de obeka. Samira say ne mo strong one se mo bia meka me ne na asam. He, na ono Samira oda. De bi oda na de yemu hyehye de sa ade nche no. Me say Abronye san nyoma na me menti yo na Kevin Taylor comedian na me san renko me say brother be ginim so be ginim mama Samira na be ba be catch say hey stop it ono Samira no say oda wa bodam mo de na mo ye hey mo me afa ginim we di adoa bini abeka so bi de oka wo num say calculator wo he nim we ka say we na de mic ni ma anodom pre start kan kwase asem na akwa kuta mic no kasa guso okuta microphones no okasa guso to all virus microphones no all virus microphones wa virus ni nyina okasa bi de oje mic bi abodam yene de oka ukokofo we ukokofo ewe ukokofo we ukokofo wagasa wo why na wudi koko ja ukokofo yesen ukokofo we ukoko wo yeso de koko kwani wone na wode te apetition ba ase na yetietia kakra ma wonom wonne koko kwani wote se yebonyu mu nwure mu no e na osori ko nwure mu se we mu de mo am na wo ho no ma me nkope kakra nko ma apetition woni koko fu mo ka ho ye kra toothpaste ba kura ye nto ye kra toothpaste ba ye nto nyoma ye de tie num unto bi uti krom untu tax ade ye de tie num unto bi wo de be se wonum nko na wo di fa wonum onum wi onum jot onum apetesi lagatin kakra na emu onum pito ade ye de tie num aban kraba a wo se otoma ye de tax ye kire man unto bi ye ne de woka wonum pinia abofuru omofu ya betu etia bi NDC na me afamo gofo we pa unto ade bia wo so to na abanya so mfaso na ye de tie num unto ba akum unto bibia mfa nti wonum ade a ye to aban to be kokra toothpaste different kinds different types ba unto bi uti kronim and out there dirty oil nko na nam wonum hwe wonum what is saying ukokofo wen ukokofo esen hwede wani aye wo yare bibia wo ho bi sika ekufo ado so otuama amosi na ebi nsida wentuma fansa ho yare enne na baka se de oka na me mato koko maamu obeto koko hwe wanim we enche ubesa kokro mo no tare da ho oh kwabna de saa o na ne hwani kapa ne hwani kanika sei ai na wotwe se de ebesie no agwa wada me say we opa next 2 weeks yengo kroma na yema be 2-3 months bi kan ho obekọ ro tare da ho ai ye twa picture we atare ho aka Siga ai we go the nickname no wa no picture je nickname Kwame Dako aka Siga I gone too soon oh na edan also Kwame de ne hwani kanika pa obewunu aborada ha obewunu otwenwe ene Kwame o yes owufa ne ndem ai ntina otwe se nde ene ye betena se we obewunu nse ya sorry wa wuntua tight unto toothpaste impotwitwi wo se ade bia de fa enum ama enum ti unto bi da wa onhyada nware wo papa bia onhyada nie japade bia wo di ja wo ma wa wanhyada nkosko ensua de wo so oman ye tenase ne adwendwene oman no ho a wa untumi mfa futuo bia nka ho nipa ba ko so ra wo di apetesika wankasa wo sa de edan ka wo nipa ba ko o haye what the space wo Ghana ye penipa wo ma bagia sa asena tena so na wo di space infaso bia ni wo so kokwe adwuma wo ye ebesi nde untumi toothpaste jutu se mahama de woka uhwinim wonum se manual calculator wonum se manual calculator wonum misi wonum mesi enche 2 months ta obekọ no otareda ho kwabena de kwam kwachi kwachi de na ne hwani kapa on aya ye twafufu kakra de amane kakra di on na masa na so ye fuo sa de yerim de na oye okotra nkran okoye shan na oba aye aya haya na owo ha de nke ye yo na ebobo canopy maye ha de bibi yira kra mpo na hu na on na fire be ma kwabena de ania but na otwe se nde ene be tena se na busuanfo kra mpo nhye de hu be ye be na park ne so abuofuru we announcement na make no hwe wani when you said Drobain, wouldn't it's when you said Drobain, wouldn't Drobain? Drobain, what is Drobain? Mr. P, Mr. S, guys, Drobain, I don't know why that word came into my Drobain. What is Drobain? Team, Google Drobain for me. Yes, me seen the Nisa Drobain, but I want to I don't understand. Drobain mean word no, I mean the crow. When Nisa Drobain, what is Drobain? Guys, mo am sure Drobain dia Drobain minimum the crow. Akwane nisa droben. On tiashe. Straw. When nisa droben. When nisa straw. I want to teach you power droben straw. Droben. My po. Yeah. To show it. We did Jamaica. We did Jamaica. Oh, when nisa watch a bit na ye. Mahama odi eka. Oh, one de oga. Who to fertilizer ka? Oti any to fertilizer ka ba? Spraying machine any to ba bi said. Oh, yeah, de oka ben. Men pe baby wa no wi nkotra baby transfer. When nisa droben. Droben straw or pipe. I want to droben a straw and as a pipe. When nisa pipe. Yeah. Well, when ho sa droben abegina Mahama de meka. Oh, ho kai say one kasa. Oh, ho kai say. Ko ukokwefu he. Eye how many plot ukokwefu. Ukoko. Wo anwode ade ti koko. Wo anwode ade bo koko. Wo betima ti koko bottle half. Wo betima ti koko bottle half. Huh? Jade na wo ye na kopa petition bi no na yanko anim. Abane ba tutia Mahama. As you can see, we're record. We enye gidigidi, we MPP NDC record. Sometimes, you know, never be what. And I keep telling people, me say, sanke nim nyansa pa anka des Ghana ni onim nyansa bie ni also tie MPP. The records are there to show. Clear. Now, Bank of Ghana, how NDC and MPP are managing Bank of Ghana, ebesinne. From 2012 all the way to 2026. Yambesi ebeko echire, yambesi started from Mahama first term. Hey Mahama, ebedru Mahama first term we. This Mahama's first term. Uja ubodam. Inti Usha 2012 Bank of Ghana from 2012 to 2016. And I make sure under John Mahama. 2012, 1.5 billion profit and a Bank of Ghana MK under John Mahama and the NDC. 2013, 900 million profits and under John Mahama NDC Bank of Ghana MK. 2014, 900 million profits under John Mahama and the NDC. They made profits of Bank of Ghana. 2015, $1 billion. John Mahama, NDC, and omoye den, omo make his profit no. Time and omo manage Bank of Ghana. 2016, time John Mahama free power, 700 million, and John Mahama NDC, edema a year abino. So you can see about management of Bank of Ghana, technically the economy of this nation. John Mahama from 2012 to 2016, they basically made profits throughout. Now, when you come to the other side, Bank of Ghana under Ekufuado from 2017, ABC 2022. And the reason is 2022 because 2023 we were bankrupt. You know, 2023 we were bankrupt. IMF done. There was no money because anka sikebi ho and anka make profit anka 2023 anka benya figure amount. But because the NPP ran the country down inside the pits, you know. So 2023, we were bankrupt, zero. There was no money. Anything they call IMF. Now, 2017, NPP bought power. After John Mahama, eja 700 million cedis. Eto ho ansana okono. What happened is, NPP eteki ko 1.6 billion. That's the overflow from John Mahama leaving office. All the infrastructure project and I started a yield sika with ja. Otuko bi odi na koka abuofunu ye delete and ye uploading new ones. 2018 it is our calculate here 1.6 billion. That was the loss Ekufuado and MPP making in 2017. They made the loss of Bank of Ghana 1.7 billion. 2018 800 million. Under MPP, I will make losses our Bank of Ghana. 2019, I will make 1.8 billion profits. 2020, they made 1.6 billion profits. 2021, they made 1.2 billion profits. 2022, they made 60.8 billion loss. 2022, okay, losses are you making now under Bank of Ghana leadership. The NPP only in 2022, they made 60.8 billion loss. Sika omontumi accounted for. Under Ekufuado, under Bawumia, the head of economic management team, under Oforiata, 60.8 billion. Sa sika ni nyina ayirae. These are facts. 60.8 billion under MPP. Inti ana me who's MPP 40 TV so say I mama monhwe NDC di omo ye na montoma mo kwasiafo under the NPP in 2022. Bank of Ghana alone made a loss of 60.8 billion. 60.8 billion. Kwasiafo. Now 2023 na sika bia mponi ho. 2023 there was no money. And I'm calling Bank of Ghana sika by 2024 be rane. So you can see clearly the difference between the NPP and the NDC. The gap between these two political parties is wide. The gap between the NPP and the NDC is wide. It is a PSG ni Chelsea. Because they say America say PSG about Chelsea will be the 3 million point. I can 4 more goals. This alone, it should end the conversation. The alternative, which is the MPP, is a stupid party. They cannot manage the affairs of Ghana. 60.8 billion losses in 1 year. And then we sit here and say, oh, Yakofa Bawumia ba into Ghana for Montam Ghana Sanfamaye. Now 60.8 billion. I'm here to answer. I did be able to answer. $60.8 billion. Whether you like it or not, that is what happened. These are the facts. 60.8 billion. And the Bawumia, the head of economic management team. Inti adia pa na MP Babaka Chair say, Yeni Ghana for Yensisa Yajene, na yento Abama Bawumia. Dientina, Ghana MPP ni, ewa da moral right to put to come and sit on TV say, me a communicator ma MPP. Inti tie menuma sem, never to me ma MPP. We are kwasia. Now Ghana yo papa dia, and now dia show bisa, and waboka 60.8 billion. Bank of Ghana, anka kwasia penyi, obatam MPP amadi panubim. This is the basic nini. We don't have to be talking too much. We don't have to be arguing too much. This is where it ends for the NPP, never to come close to power again. In this West study power, I don't talk about MPP communicators on my platform. Since I'm about power, MPP communicators to me show so because nobody is worth my platform. No. Hardly do you see on my platform say, may the MPP communicator about to me show so say, I communicator with me addressing. None of the communicators is worth me addressing. None of them. Why? Who in the MPP today is intelligent to come and tell me, say, because of this, we should forget about this and give MPP power. Come here, kwasia. So you see my platform, I don't show MPP communicators. Hey, some kokasemo baby, whether the director of communication or whatever they say, I don't speak on it. You know why? Because they are not worth our time. Jimmy. I will not go to that point whereby I'll go and pick a blogger, MPP blogger. Said, no, I want, oh no, Nyansa Beno him. Because Mega just on churches I do Ghana for. So this platform is bigger than any platform in Ghana. This platform is bigger. Say, ya ba, nya be cheche machira Ghana for, ni delete atrono. When a Ghana for Moshe, and the Bawumia ni Ekufuado, 2028 to 2022, omo boka 60.8 billion Bank of Ghana. South Ghana way. But you see, some of these losses, the honest truth is, it becomes difficult to track. But as far as we have it on file, factual, we are not supposed to make that mistake again to bring anybody else from that group of people. That is what I keep telling Ghana for. We need to be serious as a people. Yeah? Sometimes when I sit and I watch the argument of the NPP, then I ask myself, my message is saying, what is your message? My message is say, and the interquest with Iran, and Israel, any America, petrol war kosro, inti yantuma MPP. Na sa double war na ekoso, and I say, I'm a say Russia-Ukraine war no egu. If the Russia-Ukraine war still exists, because that was your definition of Edian hardship at the Ghana. So I want to ask the MPP for, is the Russia-Ukraine war still in existence? Is it still in existence? And I say, Egu. Say, Egu, yeah, they mean, say, John Mahama and the NDC, they are faced with 2 wars. I think technically, and go say petrol graduate 30 a letter. When you say, what's your for? Me busa MPP for. Right now, as we speak, we want to question you. The Russia-Ukraine war, India and I said, because when the Russia-Ukraine war, no, and then I'm going to say, anything about petrol could do 17 to 18, at the point 2022, it do 23 Ghana cedis a liter in 2022. Petrol do 23 Ghana cedis per liter. Ye busa mo say, I didn't know petrol do. I'm going to say Russia-Ukraine war, and me busa mo Russia-Ukraine war no. Omo wi and I said that's so koso MPP in Kwasiafo, is the war still ongoing or war na ending? And send a petrol wansem. That means the NDC government is faced with 2 wars. Baku Iran, America, Israel. And a Baku war Russia and Ukraine. It John Mahama has done better. Or San Kamenoka say, and go say petrol do 40 Ghana cedis a liter. And so petrol is still low. Let me ask you simple questions. It is a more MPP for now. That's why I don't engage the MPP in back and forth. I don't do it. Me want so much Jimmy. Am I doing what form? Who in the MPP is intelligent? Who? If today the MPP wants chairman, I want me to lead it as a national chairman. Now, Penyini Ben or party mo nimi nyansa. They have bunch of fools. Nyansa ni. Into China. I am Musha MPP for now. I am Musa say, yes, Ramo. Russia-Ukraine war no, and the whole cost one answer omujai. You ever say Busa say Russia-Ukraine war no? Russia-Ukraine war no, you ever see say so Russia-Ukraine war there, then the NDC government is managing 2 wars. John Mahama is very smart. Atoforson is very smart. The NDC government, they are doing so well. Unless you, the MPP, you tell us from Ochina say there's nothing like Russia-Ukraine war. War in Hobium, egu omawie. Say Russia-Ukraine na ho cost there, then your problem upao. Because Russia-Ukraine war and Iran, America, Israel, as I bet to Russia-Ukraine. Into Mahama is managing 2 wars. So, do you expect petrol to be at where it is? We are expecting petrol to get to 40 a liter. It was China Kwasi for the radio, so TV, so no. Now, some MPP propaganda. More NDC communicators just question them and say, we want to ask you, per your knowledge, is the Russia-Ukraine war still in existence or the war ended? The answer, no, now they are 2 or so. Me say, which MPP niya? No abusa no TV so. If you're a communicator for the government, you sit with an MPP person tomorrow. Say Kevin Taylor said I should ask you. Okay, so I don't want to hear Kevin Taylor. Kevin Taylor, who is Kevin Taylor? It's a foolish guy. I don't say. So I want to ask you. And these communicators, much MPP communicators, I'll say Kevin Taylor said I should ask you. Kevin Taylor is saying he's asking you. He wants me to ask you. But if you don't recognize Kevin Taylor, that's fine. I want to ask you for Kevin Taylor. Because I am asking you for Kevin Taylor. The Russia-Ukraine war, a gu and answer at the whole cost. So Russia-Ukraine cost so there, then it means to say there are 2 wars that Mahama all could see to fight and get Ghana a fuel. Aha, kwasi war. Yet to Kroma. Anytime get Ghana for say, don't entertain the MPP, they're a bunch of idiots. They are stupid, they can't think. Ochna, communicators on Mako TV soon, I must say Kevin Taylor says I should ask you. Is the Russia-Ukraine war still ongoing? If it is still ongoing, then you have to understand that it is still affecting fuel and the prices. If it is still not ongoing, then let us know. Because on record, Russia-Ukraine war is still active. That means, excuse me, the Maya say, anything about will petrol go to 23, it's still there. It means Mahama cry idea. Mahama idea because now go say petrol they do 40. MPP communicators we are for. Now let's move forward. Delete. Now there's this agenda by the MPP surrogates, led by Kofi Bento and the so-called the hungry intellectuals in Ghana. Let me tell you, the likes of Kofi Bento and the hungry people. Omo sika MPP for small boys na benya. Omo matna politics aya indirect politics omo nye bi na. They are hungry. Right now they think say they can all come together and bring Bawumia back through lies. Kofi Bentil and his likes, they are liars. They don't have any knowledge more than you. Kofi Bentil onim nyanse bia nchen Google no Google nama. He just goes ask AI. He just goes and Googles. Onim nyanse bia nchen obia or Ghana. He is not any intelligent person. I'm telling you. All the things they write is say Imani. Small boys we no church romo. They are not intelligent as you people think. Now, I must start Jandam for let's kill it. We are deleting. Jandam for in the team, stay with me. Jandam for the Abano is here no. The idea in Iran say they all hate what Sami Jemfi is doing, all because Sami Jemfi is working well. Oh, say, so study Kofi Bentomo, boy, by Kono Shespers, saying, Bright Simmons, money sanko for almost some intellectuals. Almost no mababedu, almost your gold board. That is what they are doing now. There's nothing. They are forcing scandal. There's no scandal. And Ghanaians, MPP still think, say, yeah, that whole 1992, kind of politics, it does not work again. You need to prove beyond reason. Ghana is a court now. Ghana is a political court. You cannot just walk in and make your case and walk. You will be questioned. You will be cross-examined. People will check your facts, your evidence. Ghana is a political court. You cannot just walk in and say, I am Kofi Bentil, I am part of Imani. I should run. It doesn't work like that. In Ghana, when you say you want to speak politics, every single person sitting there is a jury. They will analyze your statements, they will question your thoughts, and then they will ask you for your evidence. So you cannot just base your statement on emotions and your anger and your hatred towards people. It will not win your candidate Bawumia any vote. These are facts. And the better you guys get to know that the Ghanaian that you saw 8-10 years ago is not the same Ghanaian today. 90% of Ghana they can read between the lines. So the country Ghana you see there, and the reality check, Kofi Bentil or likes the criminal so-called intellectuals. The Ghana you see is a political court. It's a political court. There are a lot of political juries in Ghana. So you cannot just make statement and walk. What but damn, people will question you. People will question you. The likes of Jatomunia, people don't take them serious. They see them as jokers. They see them as hungry people who are not able to make anything in their lives. So they think this is the time they can impose their ill thoughts, their fake, their unread thoughts on Ghanaians. It does not work. So before you come to speak on Ghana's issue, make sure that you are getting your facts right, because the senior high school kid can sit or lay in his bed and start to Google your statement. They will fact check you. They will tell you that you think you are stupid. 1990, 1991, 2014, 13, and an Ghana for whom someone nyansa. Right now, majority of the people know someone nyansa. Mwe Jimmy, adada na madada. Now this the next jandam they are trying to do. Let's delete. Kofi Bentil, don't forget this government sold 18 tons of our gold when all forecast. Listen to the grammar. Kwasia. Kofi Bentil say, and when you read everything he's written there, everything at the end of the day is based on speculations. Foolish man. What the speculations never give credibility to Ghana and there. You cannot base on speculations to win power for Bawumia. You lie. My brother, we are not going to agree. We will fact check you people. Now see, don't forget this government sold 18 tons of our gold when all forecasts showed that gold prices were rising. Gold prices were rising. Or see, remember Urenfi. Say a byway at Ghana gold 18 tons. A bra na gold prices air costro. Now or you see where they be forecast. When all forecasts are basically, you are basically predicting. Or someone can say a byway ton Ghana gold 18 tons. A bra na yenina yesusu. You won't say a real gold prices in the costro. That means you could not basically put a pin on it and say gold prices, it wasn't going to drop overnight or it wasn't going to go up overnight. So we speculate when they forecast something does not mean say a definite. Into one guy's statement, which say you are just speculating. Yes, Ghana sold gold 18 tons. That's fine. That's fine with you. The question here is, do we have a season, a time, a date, a period that gold is supposed to be sold? Send gold our world market near ton 10,000 per ton. Now say you see gold or China ebeko 15,000. We cannot basically base our hopes on speculation. We cannot base our hopes on forecast. We cannot base our hopes on somebody predicting. Prediction, forecast, and speculations. You cannot base a country's economy or the sale of gold on these three things because gold is volatile. So Bonica said volatile. Gold can be $6,000 at 6 a.m. this morning, and it can become $2,000 at 6 p.m. the same day. So you cannot sit and say, when they were selling the gold, 18 tons of gold, when gold was high, you could not or you cannot say, because the price was high, the price was going to be higher forever. No. The people who sold the gold took advantage of the moment. So if today, gold is selling for $10,000 an ounce. Now, say Obi project say or Chinechi ebe selling 15,000. Ghana has to take its decision today because the probability of gold dropping tomorrow to $2,000 an ounce is also 100%. So how can you make such a statement? And you see, these are dirty people who base all their statements on speculations. If you know gold is volatile, if you know a statement from Donald Trump, a statement from the Chinese president, a statement from any world leader who is powerful can change or determine the price of gold on the market every second, why do you have to wait? Or you want to tell us to say there is a day and night, specific months or days we have to sell gold? No. The people who are in charge, the same way you think you are smart, they are also smart. Because gold, the idea I no pay a bit more on this amount. And when you 6, now I drop it. So you take your chances. You take your chances. Now, he goes on to speculate. You're a dirty guy. They are not intelligent, though. They are basic Google search boys. He is very flat and vague. Kofi Bentomo, weak-minded. But yet, Jimmy Tini space. Now, he goes on to say this. They now want to buy it back at a loss of almost $2 billion. Now, they now want to. If you say they now want to, that means you are not being specific. The question here is, if they want to, have they done it? You are still speculating at your age. You are still speculating. At that time, I also it means everything you are saying here is out of speculation. It means 90% of the things you are saying does not even make sense. You are telling us they now want to, meaning you cannot even confirm whether they will buy or not. So how can you conclude that Ghana is going to make a loss of $2 billion? Because what you are saying is basically a statement that you are not sure of, a statement that is not factual, a statement based on speculation. They want to. Have they bought anything for you to come and say? In fact, they have bought gold and made losses of $2 billion. Have you? You have no evidence. So in some occasions, evidence being in speculation because they are forcing scandal on Bank of Ghana. They want to force scandal on Gold Board. In Kwasiafo way are desperate. In Kwasiafo way are desperate. They want to create jandam. They want to force a scandal. There's no scandal. From time I'm starting reading the statement, ever see this paragraph I end, until we make any emphatic statement. First, or say this government sold 18 tons, and that when gold, he was basing his statement on forecast. Kwasia, you are basing it on forecast. Whoever said forecast can be something that we can rely on 100%. And you still go ahead to say they want to, meaning you don't have evidence to it, meaning it has not been done. So what is your basis for saying, we have made a loss? You are foolish. They now want to, at your age, at you telling people you are an intellectual, you want people to respect you because of Bawumia kwasiampeni kakrodema wudinti. You want to use this stupid grammar to lie to people. We are not going to allow. We will delete. Now go to the last paragraph. I sincerely hope they have good reasons for that. You hope. So far, I haven't heard any good reason. You have not had good reason, but you could not provide any evidence to your statement. It is gossip. What you are saying here is gossip. Where do menopause type? Kofi Bentile Jimmy, my catch Ramo, Ghana for Mona for opportunity Momo, Eshamusu. We are the people who allow foolish people like Kofi Bento them to get space to make statements thinking they are smart. They are not. They base every single shit they say on speculations. And I'm really sure everything is speculative. He speaks for Bawumia. So you see, they want to do everything possible. Now, I'm 20 a day. I'm 20 a gold board, but it's not working. Now, the question here is, time a gold board, ton Ghana gold, baby, a gold price go through, it had started dropping. So you were expecting the Bank of Ghana and gold board to sit there for the gold to drop to $1? No. Where gold got to, that was the peak. If nobody could predict whether gold would go further than where it was. So the best thing any intelligent person would do, any manager of the economy would do, any intelligent person would do, and they say, let me basically quickly sell it off, because where we are selling it is good money. And how can you tell me, say, gold I could do almost 6,000, now you're ton gold now, we should wait for the gold to get to 30,000. Cocoa, as we speak today, no be say cocoa bedroom point to be yen to me the amount we are getting from cocoa. But you thought cocoa was a stable product. We thought cocoa was a product that it had security. We thought say abrofo beji cocoa de bia. So every time budget near the bia cocoa side, because near him say abrofo there is no way or make us or pay cocoa, and the cocoa is done. Cocoa is done and dusted. We cannot rely on cocoa as a nation again because abrofo and pet. The same thing want us to do now. Then what was the essence for the gold board? Kwasia. Into Mugaje Kofi Bento say, yani any PhD, by every statement they make, we will come and delete it. We will expose their foolishness for people to know, say, they are running around the nation pretending to be smart. They are not smart. They are foolish boys. Me, I don't see them as men. People who speak and then they think, say, nobody can correct them. These are people who have been jobless for a long time. They create NGOs and stupid organizations to use to dupe people in Ghana. We know them. Dirty people. So, there's no scandal. There's nothing. If Kofi Bento saw a scandal or what evidence or a factor on Fambra, this is speculative. MOFA, Ministry of Food and Agriculture audits. Tons of rice, maize, missing. 2 ghost companies paid 24 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Food and Agriculture aye special audit to be. Ewo ministry na Brani Champon eja ho. So opo bi o ye kronfo pa or ha Ghana pa Ministry of Agriculture aye Brani Champon. MPP for na be catch the latter days na omanka se be free power anytime omo start your campaign omo be catch say Brani Champon. Eduane ebro maize fertilizer also and common Ghana for nyina Brani Champon fa ni nyina ye no ha. And Abronye Ministry of Food and Agriculture aye special audit. Oma be hu say eye emo ene ebro eduane tons upon tons. Eduane eye ebro ni emo dodo be 50,000 containers. Oma say sa eduane ni nyina omo ye audit no ni nyina ni pe bi afa ama Ghana eboka because omo tia companies bi emoma supply say eduane no yakosha nkrate mu a be 24 million Ghana cedis companies now supply bibia eburo na yehu emo na yehu obi hwe because Kevin Taylor now then yankochi omungum. Now you see, now are we supposed to go and arrest everyone and start prosecuting? The attorney general needs to be tactical here. Because the NPP government needs free power and everything about it is illegal. Now, if you are going to govern and the same time you want to prosecute, are you going to spend all your time, every single crime there you have to do it? No. Some of the crimes, you need to push them aside, deal with the most important ones, and as time goes on, you deal with those ones. So these ones like this, definitely the Attorney General will deal with it. But you want to tell me, say, sa case way, any chairman want to be case, they're not important. Sa case way, any chairman want to me, sa case way, any yawedu case, and they're not important. Sa case way, any give to a warrior case, they're not important. Sa case way, any sky train case, they're not important. Sa case way, any the other important cases, we need to be very careful how we are like. I don't know, prosecute. Every single case will be prosecuted. And we need all the time to do it. That is why 41 years are important. 24 million. So with this one too, we need to start investigations. Now the issue is, when you start investigations on this, do you have to ignore the first ones you started? No. Now every investigation you start, a resource, a second audition, Now you need to make sure, say, they are what starting, we pay attention and deal with them. Then from there, we move to the next stage, into a case by case. Now, some it is will be say, and I buy no into 1 year to me prosecute here. You can mention about 10-15 cases, and in our cost is going through prosecution. Into how can you say abandoned person be prosecution? How can you say abandoned person be jail be? Different from say abandoned catch or say yemfa obi anko jina court. But as far as case work court, you cannot sit and say abandoned person be jail be. The reason why the government is in court or the attorney general is in court is because he wants to prosecute. Now the attorney general goes to court or can ask them na nipa na ne ho aba asem no so ono so be can ask them. Into the question here is the attorney general the one to make sure it's a judgment the judge how the case goes into as far as case work court in there. You cannot sit there and say abai we are disappointed, abai we person be prosecuted. This government is prosecuting. Every single day when you follow the news, people are going to court and coming. But that does not mean says so be court na yenjeli na asamne nkoso. The case is still being prosecuted. It is about we all understanding say court system is slow. But if you want to say attorney general, this government is not doing everything possible to fight corruption, then you are not being fair to the government. Then you are just being emotional. Then you are not being realistic. The government, as we speak today, from 2025, power, they have been putting people in court, and people are still in court, and the government is still fighting to make sure people are prosecuted. The government is making sure, say, at the end of the day, they will win the cases. In the Sobi General Kacham say, oh, winning BB, abandoning person be jail. I'm asking you, say, on what basis now? When Ogachram say abandoning for Obianko Jina quarter and the metawasi. But this government is in court with so many people. The government is in court trying to prosecute people. So you don't have any right to say abai when person be prosecuted. Maybe your pace, how you want people to be jailed, it is not the government you need to blame. You need to blame the court. It is the court that is slowing the cases down. Because attorney general there, anka yema, anka wachini pa bebregum, waje credit, waje samba, obi abodi ding. But as far as he does not have control in the courtroom, you cannot blame the government and say the government does not want to prosecute. If we have any anger, the anger should be geared towards the judiciary. The judiciary is the one that is very slow. The judiciary, almost anything, and Emma Ibibiate. Into them say, Attorney General is not talking. Then I mean, say you are crazy. Attorney General does not want to prosecute. Oh, bottom. Attorney General, government 1% will prosecute. You are crazy. Then you don't know the court system. This is not where I'm going to sit and advise you and say, nyabutre. We all want prosecution. But the issue is that the Attorney General is in court. Different from John Mahama Kaso be prosecuted. Now NDC about power. Yeah, for Bianco court. As far as somebody is in court, there's going to be a judgment. Into what Tranka said, because the case has not been caught at your pace, because the government is not working, then you are being crazy. Because the case is in court, finality Maya, judge and judge case, Abane is not prosecuted. Then you are being crazy. You need to understand, case or court, it goes through a process. Until we have to ask the court, why is the court delaying? Because the Attorney General has done his job. Dear Juman Odema, the Attorney General also often court. Now the court, does he have control over the case? No. He's also in court like the same person he's prosecuting. So who are we supposed to blame? We need to question the judiciary. Why is the judiciary slow? And to me, I will not entertain that conversation. Me metran power chanka say, oh, where do you name? NDC about disappoint. NDC about disappoint you. NDC about some catch a Ghana for say about power. They will prosecute. Now, prosecute does not mean or do be a court or so chanipan jail. Court na wohono enyo papa dia a process na obi akom. Everybody needs to have their day in court. Obi a dey asama to subia no sa nipa no e wo so dey or say nipa no eso enya na asem ka. So you cannot sit there and say Kevin Taylor, the NDC does not want to prosecute. You are being silly. You are not being smart. Because when I original court is here and obi do court and the adeche say jeliwa obeka say court has not been fair to you because oh papa ya man chance man ankasa. Oh, papa, you can go court and I did see Jelina. Oh, because the court has not been fair to your father. Oh, because the Ghana, we are being selective. The court is there working. The Attorney General, the answer, Obechinko Fogum, no, so Yakachan, so why did Juma? Do you think he likes it? No. It's me who journalists meet TV, so I say, Attorney General, the last time I saw Captain Smart vent. And Captain Smart is talking like he has not been to court before. And my own brother, Captain Smart, sometimes you go overboard because, you need to explain to Ghanaians. You need to talk to Ghanaians. You need to educate Ghana for how court processes work. Nobody has control over the court process. So you can't sit on TV or sit on your show and make it look like, say, Attorney General National Suitor or record or so in your judgment. It does not work like that. As much as we are all frustrated, you need to educate the public. Okay, in Kofo court, in Kofo are being prosecuted. This is what happens. The people who are being prosecuted, they have their day in court. They also need to speak. So you don't sit on TV and when I see Captain Smart make so much noise and say, Attorney General, no, he's a criminal, I don't trust him. You're not being fair to your listeners. You are misinforming them. You need to let them understand. Because you, Captain Smart, so you also want to go to court. You want to be heard. You want the process to be fair. So why don't you want people to also go through the fair process? Unless you don't want to be rude to yourself. Unless you don't want to be rude to Ghanaians. Or there's maybe you are using emotions to speak. I respect your job. I respect your credibility. You have worked hard to this point, and a lot of people respect the job you do. But sometimes we need to put our emotions aside and explain to the people. We should put our emotions aside. A court near echo. A oma yes omabokro no wako jina court no. Sebio until they are proven say omabokro no. Nobody can sit and say Attorney General does not want to follow the case. When did you hear Attorney General say it's a case where I don't want to follow it? I am yet to hear one person come on TV, one journalist to say, Attorney General went to court and said, I don't want to follow this case again. As we speak today, the Attorney General is always in court. The Attorney General is making his case. The lawyers for the defendants are also there. So why do we have to sit here? Now, I want prosecution done. I want people prosecuted. Does it mean I have to come and sit here and attack the Attorney General? Abraham knew how court processes work. Abraham, I know how court processes work. So if I know how court processes work, I cannot be a hypocrite and sit here and say, because I said NDC before, they have to prosecute, Obianko jail, I have to come here and speak against the government, speak against the Attorney General, make it look like, say, nobody, you Captain Smart, you have been to court before. You know how it works. You know that people have to be given their day in court. So what is this issue of the country, the Attorney General, the government? You are silly. It is our job, it is our responsibility as the media to educate the public. In NDC for a campaign, Omuka say they will prosecute. Say John Mahama and NDC come more power and come back to Ghana for say when we come, we will bring them to NDC headquarters and jail them. Or say we will prosecute. Prosecutorial process means people have to come to court and also make their defense in front of a judge for a decision to be made. It means the government has less power when it comes to the court because the court is an independent body. They also sit, listen, and make judgments. If today say and the case was court na the whole case yentina TV so can say and Attorney General on there I don't trust him, he's a criminal. You might not like his style of prosecution, obia with your pen asem. You might not like the way he goes about his case, obia with your pen asem, but you cannot come to that conclusion that the government is corrupt and that this government does not want to prosecute. When you do that, then you are not being fair to yourself and being fair to the people who are listening to you. With all due respect to you, Captain, and sometimes, I see the way you are so passionate about what you are saying, and I think sometimes you let your emotions take over you. The issues are the issues. We making noise on TV and radio will not push the court because the court needs to look at evidence, deduce everything before they make judgment. If Chairman Wontumi was your father, if Chairman Wontumi was your brother, and he was pushed into jail in 24 hours, you would have come to speak. You would have made noise and said the court and the government and the day, the constitution has not been fair to another Ghanaian. So why are we not allowing people to have their day in court? We cannot act as if we say every day is because it's against Chairman Wontumi, it's against Edu Buahin, it's against some people we don't like. Judgment should be today. It doesn't work like that. So we are trying to make sure we calibrate the system well. It does not mean people are going to get away with murder. It means the system is going to be rigid, it's going to be solid, it's going to be fluid. At the end of the day, justice will be done. Those who have committed a crime will be forced to serve jail term. That is how you govern. That is how you build a nation. But we don't sit there and scream and scream. Mimi Yama and Kachama want to be them 30 years. But I can't get it like that way because Emra Okronim, because he has a right to a lawyer, because he needs to go to court and also speak. Into Muamuditi radio sono, Muamuditi TV sono. I know how frustrated you are, but you see, because you don't want people jailed more than the Attorney General. Until we need to sometimes sit back and swallow our emotions a little bit and make the factual statement. Ghana for say okay, because you're creating impression. Be say I didn't Obianko jail. No, case record. You don't determine when the person goes to jail. And you, Captain, you know more than I know. Majority of you people sitting on TV and on radio, You know more than I know. When cases enter court, you don't determine when the case should end. It is the court that determines when the case to end. So what has the Attorney General done? And I'm not saying the Attorney General is doing everything perfect. I wish that the Attorney General would do more than he's doing. But the fact of the case is, the Attorney General does not have control over the case. It is the judiciary, it is the court that determines it. We as journalists, we should know more than this. We should be able to educate. As much as I hate Bawumia, where Jimmy no assassino, I will not sit here and say, Yembu the time abra, sebio, go through the process. No. You get what I mean? As much as say, Minim se chema untumia kromfo, we din kwasiasem, edubu anhewia Ghana, all the people they have lined up in court, no, they have caused the nation. No, I will not sit here and say because I don't like them. No, for 24 hours from Kogudu, because tomorrow I don't know who is going to be before the court. So we need to stick to the rules. We need to allow the process to work. If we don't have patience for the process to work, then we start to abuse power. Then we start to do the same thing Akufo-Addo did. Then we start to look like the NPP. Nobody likes to see criminals walk, but we need to also understand. 9/11 America, they have access to lawyers. It should tell you this is a world where people have access to lawyers. They have to make their case. So let's educate the people. Say, a case for quarter, it means they are building up a case to prove at the end of the day, say, in a case for quarter, and the process needs to work. And that is what we journalists, we as people on radio and TV, that is what we need to do. Nobody is going to sit here and make you feel, say, because you are screaming, because you are making noise, no, people should bend the law. No, the law will never be bent. But you see, the issue here is we need to follow due process. Extrajudiciary, let me tell you something. As much as you want to prosecute people, you need to make sure that you do it within the law. People are casting their minds back. Akufo-Addo, no, you used to talk no, they didn't kwasiasem, and who before now to take Akufo-Addo no. Now, what to take Akufo-Addo because you didn't want that to happen to you. You didn't want anybody to abuse the law. You didn't want people to use their positions to intimidate other people. So you voted against Bawumia Akufo-Addo because Jimmy, they were intimidating people with the law. Now you want everything to be done right. Now you and I know, say, I'm on Fabo Chrono. So should we use the Akufo-Addo tactics, or you, the voting, say we should reset the system and make sure, say, even though people have committed a crime, no, we need to stick within the law to make sure the law applies. No, which one are you going to go for? Then it means because if you decide to use the Akufo-Addo tactics, then it will not be different from what you wanted to avoid. Then this government will not be different from the screaming we're screaming. This government didn't come to power because it wanted to take revenge. It did not come to power because it has put some people down to kill them. It came to power to strengthen the law, for the law to deal with people who have committed crimes against the state. If you want to strengthen the law, make sure the right things are done. You are doing it to make sure that anybody who has committed a crime will go through the process, and that when that person is found guilty, nobody can sit on the wall and say somebody was intimidated. The law was bent to favor somebody. So that is what this government is doing. Abronye is strategizing and strengthening the law again, putting the country where you want it to be on the right track. Send your baby to be court near Buana because you to mean Kasem MPP where they are ye. We don't want to practice the Kofo kind of government where Chatuchika Takwa, sorry, or bad the action jail. It does not work like that. As much as we want people jailed, we need to calibrate, make the system right. Send your baby jail, nobody can sit and scream and say Yatata will be papa. Yatata will be mame, and that is what we are doing, and that is what this government is doing. So it's not about how you feel and your emotions, because anka ope de Akufo-Addo ye, de na toko nu ye, de na wede court ne ya, anka 120 ya Akufo-Addo. You voted against Akufo-Addo because you didn't want to find yourself in that place for Tokonu and the judiciary and the Akufo-Addo to sell your mom, jail your dad, jail you in a way that wasn't right or isn't right. That is why you made that decision. In the sense that what to aba say yantinit in a mino, na a mino angel baby jina and chess will be a boy chrono obedante and chess will be a rea obeko. It means the system should be perfect to protect you, protect me, and even protect people we think now who have not been confirmed to say Omia Kromfo, protect them. Because when people are accused of a crime, until the court says away, you cannot say Sanipo Kromfo. So every single person in court today is a suspect. They are defending themselves. So how can these cases are being worked on? So how can you say this government does not want to prosecute? Now you hear it. These are cases what Attorney General said, most of them are in court. So how can you just say, if you're a journalist like myself, sit on TV and say, NDC are buying, prosecute, they are so slow. The government is working. This government is on point. In Kofura Mujina Gas on to prosecute, the same people who do 24 hours who jailing because say, hey, and they did and Kofa with you. So I saw somebody write something in a comment or say, how come they are able to jail poor people faster? That is a good question. You know why? Last Betina Kachira will say, it is not easy to push a political criminal into jail. One, especially a political criminal who is financially capable of defending him or herself with 3-4 lawyers. It is not easy. And sometimes you people think, say, Yakocho Hienino, Yakoche farmer, Wako Akoko, Yanako Jina court, Onisiko Kofa lawyer. Judge Busan say, Woody for now dibem. Or say, midi for, and so many lawyer. Then a judge in here. The judge is going to apply the law. Uko Yako Angel was saying. But Udi Chema who to Kojina Kota, where we are sika, he can hire lawyers for 10 years. Until every day Chema Wunti goes to court, he has lawyers who can delay the case and say, we are doing case management. We filed this document. We don't accept it. We are going to bring another document. These are all delay tactics. Into Ohieni Kojina Kota, how many of a year for one lawyers are almost bet to Kojina Kota say, no, I'm going to file this document. I'm going to appeal this. I'm going to Ohieni and say a chile so say farmer said Diano, Sanko lawyer papa and Korosube appeal so or appeals court. But did he have a lawyer? Does he have the money? He doesn't. So, Debbie Ameka Ghana for say, prosecuting a political criminal. Give to a worry. When we go, she has money sitting there. She can go to court, use all the lawyers she wants. She can delay as much as she wants to delay. She can go to appeals court 3 times on a particular ruling. In a case, somebody can go to appeals court and go and contest a judgment in a case. Case we are in the you better make a case way. A gift of worry we are a national service for sika. Now omudi case na drew baby no yesi gift of worry emfa a krata bimbra a chrese or your bema no nyoba. Se judge no or case no say end gift of worry emfa sa krata ne be chrese onye bema no your ba. Gift of worry bet maga sa judgment na judge no e make o sa case no or appeals court. Or appeal is a decision no. Now you only have money. So when is sika who to me nyasa. When you don't have money sitting there, ultimately your lawyer say, "Yanko appeals court, yanko appeal that judgment before we continue the case." So that is what happens in cases. Inti give to worry the case na judge ni dey do baby I say give to worry. Attorney general say for birth certificate, bra, make sure say onye bema. Now you're ba. Now give to worry say me so me for certificate in ba because me a bema. Now, say judge nika say give to worry may show self certificate in bra. Give to worry better catch the lawyers say yanko appeal sad decision no appeals court. Then case no no high court. Then we go to appeals court. You could do appeals court. There might not be judges available because ABI judges don't want appeals court. They have cases they are settled on. Now they need to find a date that is convenient. Judge better sa ruling so. Now I'm appeals court. Na appeals court judge for me and Sasa but na ruling so. Now sa ruling is no echo in favor of give to a warrior. They will come back to the high court. The judge will have to rescind his decision. Then we have to go back. Now so appeals court na say echo tia give to a warrior. Now we have to go back to the appeals court, high court for us to continue the case. So you don't see it's that easy. It will prosecute Kromfo where we scar. And this will prosecute Kromphobia wakoko. And this is what prosecute because with them they don't have the financial might to have lawyers defend them to go the extra mile and then they court proceedings process na criminal cases no. So nobody should sit on radio and say mempa attorney general abine Jamahama abine fairly Ghana for no. When you say that, then one, so you're a journalist, then you are ignorant or you are deliberately deciding to lie to the people. We need to educate Ghana for Chama won to me. Say, see, I know you see, or make the case, or see, or submit a submission of no case. And the judge said, Chama won to me, Embra Mekan asked him. Chama won to me's next move is that he's going to go to the appeals court to go and appeal that judgment. Now, how long is that going to take? So I'm going to appeals court. Now, appeals court is the case. They also have to give them a date. Maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month. Now, Omunya sa date now. Do you know how long it is going to take for the appeals court to look at that ruling before they say we side with Chairman Wuntumi or we don't side with him? Now, the judgment in the appeals court, you cannot determine the date, a month it's going to stay there. Now, so free appeals court and almost high court. The case is now going to continue from there. Now, you ask yourself, can you determine when the case is going to? No. It is all about the court itself, how quick the court works. It is not the Attorney General. It is not the Attorney General who is trying to get the work done. So we should not sit on TV and on radio and make it look like, say, Attorney General Ashada, wakoti baby, on Bessie baby case. No, it is not that. Say, here for your case, na say, it is a 2 days, you're jailing now. It is because Sikan Kutano, it is because he does not have the money to get a lawyer to defend them. Massa, when you go to court, it is your money that will keep you in court for long. Unisika around the world was some you in 2 days. And especially African politicians, chairman want to me sika go. Give to a sika go. How many lawyers do they have? Do you think they are going to do this? They are going to make it easy for the government? Do you think that chairman want to me? Hey, my make bin chiro oforiata. Ya chini free America did you Ghana no be jina quarter. It will not take less than 2 years to jail oforiata. No. Because oforiata or American po with my renting expensive lawyers. Now about Ghana, do you know a number of lawyers and do you know how much lawyers he's going to pay to stay in court and defend him? So I know sometimes let's be realistic. This government has been in power for 1 year, 3 months. Abronye power, it took off after 6 months. Realistically, this government has been in power for 8 months at Aye Juma. And you expect a government that has been in power for technically Aye Juma for 8 months, to be able to prosecute 20 people. And I know for these cases are all in court. So then will be to TV, so to radio, I say NDC in person will be prosecuted. You are not being fair to the government. If you are a journalist, you are not being fair to yourself, you are not being fair to your listeners, or you are diabolically trying to make it look like say Abani Nyejuma, or you have a personal issue with the Attorney General. Let me tell you for a fact, the Attorney General is not going to win all the cases. It's a fact. Get your minds ready for that. The Attorney General of Ghana, all the cases are Esumwa Omo fighting. They are not going to win all of them, but at least we are going to win majority of them to make sure people serve jail term. And these are realistic things you need to accept. You need to appreciate that. You need to be realistic. And sometimes some people make it look like Masa Sanka Abronye better bypass the court and Abronye bypass the court jailing Kofo. And that was what Akufo-Addo was doing. Into Abronye yɛnyina reset net asie saying net asie say ɛwɔ sɛ yɛ ɔman ye na sɛ ukɔgyina court to be di asɛm yɛde utuma obian to be nye dede. And that is what we are seeing today. These people can be making noise. Chairman Wontumi can be concerting himself and fooling himself. Say mrane time no do na ebediwa. Justice delayed is not justice denied. Emrano ebediwa. So let us not make it look like say obim person be court jail, obim person be prosecuted. O person go jailing ko for John Mahama. O person jailing ko for John Mahama. O person jailing ko for NDC on person keep power. No, don't talk like that. Jack. Now, one story way, a very important story. Oh, sorry, not this. Story way. Oh, how did we miss this story? Yes. Ghana returns to May-June Wasi. 5 years after COVID-19 disruption. And God being so good. Wasi na Ghana, your neighboring countries, you try a friend West African examination, and Ghana is back on track. After 5 years, MPP are buying omedi COVID-19 a year excuse. Na Akufo-Addo pese or passing kwara because of from Akufo-Addo graduates. Obe say the calendar of senior high school in Ghana. The same way Akufo buy JSS obe say no. The same way Akufo-Addo buy obe say SS. Now aban papa ba, we don't care about the excuses. This government through the Ghana Education Service and through the ministry, they have been able to bring Wasi back to the original timetable. And right now, any Akufo-Addo graduate in Ghana exams for Ghana. Na ya top pass questions some more. Na kwasi ampenyi se Akufo-Addo Bawumia mo. Ada Ghana for say ye Ghana for nkwara. In the history of the Republic of Ghana, it is only under Bawumia and ye top pass questions man kwara. Ye to ye dey aban sika ko top pass questions. Ema SSC for so mon ko exams. Kwasi afo, these people want power. And the Aban they have done everything possible. And the SSC, about back to basics. Send you time, May, June, Asaba the same. Ama reschedule the BM. You be SSC, you need Togo, Nigeria, your neighbors near no mucho wasino, your son, your munina. And this is what we have been wanting and asking. We wanted to look competitive when it comes to education in the sub-Saharan region. At a point, Ekufuado 8 years obedi yen timi fa yankora na assess any of the African countries, your neighbors. And yankora na mugu Ghana no mujimi. And Ekufuado from Ekufuado graduate. No akoto pasco kwasiafo no de amankwara. Ye tumi tam Ghana sika and Ekufuado ne Bawumia na akoto pass questions. Say mon solve na muncha. Na momekanche Ghana for say yani NDC yes Ekufuado kwasi ampenyi na wanko SS no or the nkofo akogu school asay om life. Ekufuado took 8 years and destroy lives on the Bawumia. Mahamudu Bawumia de Jimmy namte Ghana hakache Ghana for say omo ba be 350 senior high schools na obwa. Bawumia Jimmy wanka nyansa sembi anche Ghana odi Ekufuado echi take decision or cabinet kache Ghana for say what's in me yentrobium yankwa yenchro your exams. And John Mahama Bino, the Ministry of Education led by Haruna Idrisu, Ghana Education Service, ya sa the Ghana SSC exams no asaba back to sender. Ya dia ba the original data May June no hona nkra no eba betro results no exams no. That is what we need. It's Ghana for Montiasie. Abanwe has a lot of work to do and they are helping. Because in Kwasiadia and mess Ekufuado mo you don't take just a year to solve them all. In fact, so we share performance of this NDC government, John Mahama, my idea too much. If you want to be realistic, if you want to be honest to yourself, we share a Juma Aban where in just 1 year, 3 months, this government has been splendid. Because you see, the amount of rot and the destruction almost cause here and a almost said no, you don't expect us to even get to this point in our history. But to me gradually they have been able to change things. Near to Kromha, MPP catcher say, see 350 senior high schools, free power see bako. 8 years for 8 solid years. And Kwasiafo went to see 1 E-block in Ghana. 8 years. Now, NDC government comes, we are all expecting the same government to come and continue the old ones and build new ones. For 8 years, they were buying past questions for students in school. Now, Ghana for students, any West Africa for better exams, because there were no standards. Teacher for it to be teacher-student contact, it was 0. We were having red, blue, green. They called traffic light school. Things were a mess. For 8 years, that's your Bobo you go Ghana. Ahim for Bodam, police for Bodam, Obia Bodam, Yentuminya Bibia, and Ekufuado ne Bawumia Jimmy Fowe, and we ran the country way through the mud. Kwasiade every single day, drama. Now you Jubilee House near the drug addict in Namho. Now where Jimmy, now where Feneto, just say Jimmy Nkwa. So for 8 good years, we didn't have real reasonable people in governance. They could not handle this nation. If you come and take such a mess as a president, not so when you're intellectually smart, governance-wise, when you're smarter, you blow things up. Look at our GDP, look at our inflation, look at our status right now. Mumusa MP before said Russia-Ukraine war, and the said and Russia-Ukraine war, no the excuse that and Iran, Israel, America, still you are buying fuel at a reasonable price. This is what we talk about governance. People come in and they pick their priorities right. Look at the finance minister, the way he's able to help. And the president said, in the history of Ghana, we are going to employ 40,000 security, for 40,000 young people. Nana Dodanko Ekufuado ne Bawumia, they basically left about 500 to 700,000 unemployed youth on the street, and they left power. Who are you expecting to crack their brains to create opportunities for these people? It's the same government. This is the same government that has to help you build the economy. This is the same government that to help your business to grow. This is the same government that has to sustain the economy. This is the same government that has to build roads. This is the same government that has to make water available. This is the same government that to make sure that civil servants are paid well. The same government that has to bring inflation down. This is the same government that has to correct all the wrongs of these foolish people. And you sit here and you think it's a joke. The government has developed this country. They have worked so hard. Anytime catch Ghana for say the NDC Aban where it will take centuries and we cannot mess it up. We need to keep it for the next 41 years and make sure we are out of the woods. This is a tough journey. This is a very difficult journey. And it will take bold people. honest Ghanaians, realistic people to understand that this government has delivered. John Dramani Mahama, 80% of his delivery. Why? Yeah? And we need to understand and respect that. It is not an easy thing. And in this short period, and you will not meet a businessman or your investor or say, and the you will never hear anybody saying that in Ghana today. No investor, no businessman, no importer or exporter will tell you, say, hey, say the you will not hear it. This is what the government has done. This is what John Mahama and the NDC, this is what they have done. Don't take it lightly. Visit our neighboring countries. You will understand what I'm talking about. And the ultimate businessman be our Ghana can't just say, hey, Mr. Kenya show, say the BBS say you wouldn't hear anybody say that. People are now moving forward. People are now making some decent money. People are seeing decency in the system. People are seeing a government that respects the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian. That is what we have been wanting, and that is what we voted for. So, Abronye, I had so much that we need to sit back and analyze, take our time and watch. MPP for Jimmy. They can't do anything for us. Bawumia. Nanke hu Bawumia da dia nkebeka say Bawumia. Abozege. Samiri kunu Bawumia. We know Bawumia. Ye nyina enim Mahmudu. Who doesn't know Mahmudu? Who in Ghana does not know Mahmudu? One enim Mahmudu. Mahmudu. Who does not know Mahmudu? That is Mahmudu. Mahmudu. Who doesn't know Mahmudu? So you people make it look like MP before by say you need Mahmudu. You need maybe Mahmudu free. You need to be free to know about. You need how he thinks. Who does not know Mahmudu? Who does not know this liar, chronic liar, pathological liar, this disease of a politician? Who does not know Mahmudu? The only thing he knows is to talk about toilet. Who does not know Mahmudu? Achieving all that we are talking right now, we should forget about it and bring Mahmudu. To do what? Right now, Mahmudu is on your economist. Into the importance in governance. He's not talking about economy again. In politics, on a salakau difference between the womb. Bawumia has refrained from talking about economy. Into Bawumia right now, on a salakau difference between the womb. Says salakau papa chena na angwa wa salakau mucha Bawumia. Tiye nyansa. Mahmudu does not speak about economy again. Because of economy, intina Bawumia about politics. And intina MP before say, onim economy ni the buy. And there also anka economy who has them. Now Bawumia ne so on for so chain salakau na. There's no difference between Bawumia and salakau. Se salakau who on for so chain Bawumia na angwa ejina salakau tum ne to angwa ejinem echen Bawumia. And then ema salakau who on for so chain Bawumia. Between Bawumia and salakau, the two of them are not talking about the economy. The two of them, what do they bring to the MPP? What do they bring? They bring nothing. Sradenam. Entina mekado se Masaudu salakau ne ho amfa so chen Bawumia na angwa ejina ne to inside the chen Bawumia. What Ghana Mahmudu Ghana odebeka Ghana ho. That we sit in Ghana and because of poor politics, nonsense until people are projecting Bawumia for us. Mahmudu Bawumia. The new road traffic regulations, drivers are no longer required to carry their physical driving licenses. They only need to provide their license number for verification. Chief Superintendent Alexander Kweku Obeng, Director of Education, Research and Training, MTTD. And the director of share education and research won some our Ghana police the MTTD for side no wabekasa or say new road traffic regulations be obodo aba na kire say and the Ghana driver now driver Ghana sebio ehia se obefa driver's license na show ho de atwu car now the obodo aba nyina ne say driver's license na nkasa no unhia se ebekutaw na sebio the obehia ne say o driver's license number no ewo utrim enti police ni chew na so person o verify say o driver's license wu ye na utwika ubetumi aka akire no enti if you don't even want to carry your driver's license, I would suggest to say take a picture of your driver's license and keep on your phone. Send a beya police ni be so wacho if you are driving and enkoye or person obuku or person the officer na obusa or driver's license at least you can even show him your driver's license on your phone. And police force say a new road traffic regulations no say so uchi car or Ghana or a taxi driver or a truck driver so we will be a uchi private vehicle or Ghana na police esiao na obusa say o driver's license wara embrane kire say obetima ka kire say uni driver's license no e wo hosisi a na emom obetumi abo driver's license ne number kire no mana verification no anase ubetumi where meme part ubetumi the license na kire no wo phone so say na obele kire police no intitete na police ni kire no atena car mu for license ma menhwe no agi fum no odekọ na mudi na chi no omo say sesi no eni say wo the license no edane hye police ni bia nsem police ni chiao no ka say sebio opese hu license a obetuma board license number natural license bia driver's license bia e unique number also obetumi abosa number no e de a kire de e de a kire police ni no you don't need na obo kire police ni no na police ni verification no na ohu sa oboa eno say offense obetuma chiwa kwhyem tie menya wa adwene say police ni busa say o driver's license no way na imran say you have the right to just tell him the number and as o de be kire no say wo bo number na say wo boa na police ni behu say number na o de amane ni fake a de wuti ati ene de make kire because first out we hitting oba first onya license ni to no we hiti it will be mistake now say command fake number say o driver's license number ni end say de de we say o sinyina wo fan kofie into mo ka kire into we de Jeffrey BB road traffic regulations emra omode aba new road traffic regulations omode aba Ghana Police Service MTTD for na ka kire we a truck driver we a taxi driver we a sazi driver we whatever driver we a private driver unhia say obetam driver's license na ahye obotom na wadane ama police ni busawa say driver's license no wa betuma age no abobo number na kire say me driver's license no ID no number ni enie no abobo akire no you don't have to hand it over to the police officer because in probably no ayana police officers ni bi wa omo abuse omo power obi tumi share age obi license na ode akwa kodi fufuo yetumi gi obi license ni ehwehwe police ni na oje license no obekọ office wona eso oni ho police for na ayesade na che nti I believe say this is in the right direction. But I also want to advise drivers to say you cannot abuse this. Because why junior will say, and they won't mean for license name of police to my idea, and you are getting it wrong. Because they can still verify you. They will take your number and they will verify, and when they verify the number no wasubeshi. And to make sure say on per bonnet and as on per se as a money be able to number be way unto memorizing good team. It's I would say the best thing to do is say carry the driver's license. And make sure say driver's license in a picture of the driver's license on phone. So now what you need to do is say usha police in here. You can tell the police officer say I have the license, I'm not going to give it to you, but I can mention all the license number no actual. If you have a way of verifying that, you can verify it. But handing over your license to the police, no police catcher said no longer required to carry your physical license. I'm say you don't need to carry the license with you. Intend u car that license if you remember you show but make sure say sa license the number no e will trim and as our phone so send a bear between the actual police be obejina no wa say ampa me asimesi me driver's license number near in 2% verifier ubetumi verify and I believe this is good news. In fact, it is going to somehow bring down the level of corruption on our roads. It will not take it out completely because I know, say, some people are still going to find other means to still extort drivers. There are good police officers on the streets, and there are also bad ones on the streets. There are some police officers here. I'm imagining say it does not matter. Emranu buso, wo buso, or person extorto, and our person oju muska. And there are some very genuine, honest police officers here. They make sure say Emrano we diso. Obi wa okrampa utumi bu Emrano so. Otumi question do we say you are basically ignorant about Emrana Webusuno. Otumi nya abutre na wa chechire wa kire say. In fact, Emra Webusu wo krampo no nim say webu Emrana so. There are some good police officers who will sit in your car or stand by your car and explain to you, say driver, adia we what you ase. So won't you see me chechire wa kire. The next time you do this again, we say webu Emra so. That is how we can correct the system. But I to say police for bad ones, no MTTD for no more no. Their mission in and say go and take money or more time limit. In fact, they work with a schedule. Because the time I meti a year wager. Na meti wager barrier. So time na boga mato Sata na to red butterfly. Me recredit this ID ni ma me car no red VW Jetta. And na that time no 2014, 15 or 15, 16. Na me name yire boga. That time to wager. Na there's one interesting thing. Anopa police for the bar. You could see say you could see say enya car bi no me check here. It is really coming to take money. Eba area by 2:33. Oh Sambefia, they are there. You could see say they didn't come there to check anything. They came to take money. Very difficult. Pa, I imagine say the streets no business. Motorbikes no. Open police for mo bokro no power Ghana street so some of the guys are omukuta motorbikes no sa police for no police motorbikes no to be driver and ride the bike do baby and park it no static jiska, and these things needs to stop. And I know say about form, but the police they need to understand. So police for being respect every citizen renewal. The police showing them say they are not in for their money and that they are in to make sure the law applies. Because see citizen no. The reason tia oba krom ha amount for sebio extra police kakra say they know the police are on the street to enforce the law. Into 99% of the people who see the police on the street every time, no, they respect the police because they know one, the police is not there to take advantage of you. The police is not there to extort. Into every day, no, you yourself, no, you want to be in the right side, on the right side of the police. Because let him say, so from the police in the chiwa, you cannot bribe the police officer. You cannot tell the police officer say Mr. and Mr. You know, so always you before police when they can respect the police and we need to inculcate that in our police service. I will not sit here and vouch for Ghana police to say and bribe. There are some bad police officers in Ghana. Their job is that go out there and take bribes. And you see, police need be a police biano. Say our a little idea because opposite or the police no kobo krono ana okoji nkofosika when he gets into the police service the leaders obey sure no what they will do no and then the young police officers who is here and it's what study young police officers are you recruit omo for no so omo ko police mu a omo ni omo ko road so eko gina cars no a young police officer might not have an idea about how to extort a driver, sorry. But what they do is, so almost starting almost inspectors, almost senior colleagues, for road checks near the idea. They learn from the inspectors. They learn from their seniors. So what they do is they say, on the first day, now after or shed an inspector neye, in Tom could do about inspector to do now yeah the constable back near the a corporal back then the lower rank police officer no air shed the echo. Now the ordinate chino or this cana now we will this cana aqua combat inspector or Adriana. So then the young police officer starts to learn. Or we say, I am here making sales. It won't say the corruption now starts to build in the young officer. I can tell you for a fact, about 80% of the people who enroll in Ghana Police Service, they are not going in there to be corrupt. They go in there to serve. But the moment they enter the police service, it is what they go to meet. It is the leadership, what they do. The instructions they give them, and then as time goes on, it also corrupts the young ones for them to become like the people we are saying, So the corruption in the Ghana Police Service, we need to tackle it from the inside. Because the Ghana Nibebu police in here, now our Genesis police way ember so Obabi Buno, Obabi take advantage of them. So let's study Ghana for very well. When a policeman is strict and straightforward and not corrupt, majority of Ghanaians on the street, they are scared of that police officer and they respect that police officer. Sometimes, driver for me to make us say, or the Sikema police, not police, like I say, no, they are now, a who be passengers in him, a who be driver in him, they start to put that police down and say, wait there, it will share driver for us, hey, some police officers in there, police, police inspector Kevin, on you. So, some kind of respect they start to build it for that police officer. But the moment continuously, so and then a driver for the so we are for they don't respect you. So that disrespect, it starts from the streets. And the corruption in the police service, the young police officers when they come, because if you're a young police officer, they will pay a senior police officer. Now who's a senior police officer is strict, is not taking any money from anybody. You will be scared to even try. But we see young police officers, new police officers, they come into the service within a month. No matter JJ bribe street. So because every day they send them out there to go do checks. Nipana on any corner or any senior. No, all that they see is that go and do sales for me. It inspector the corner continue diase. Now Oma strategy jiska. Now study how it works. Yeah, just getting in the back office. Now senior inspector to order the begu table. So now ya check until they see it as business. Now we are Chrome 4 inspector. We are in Chrome 4 kennel. We are Chrome 4 a corporal. So I then am over some Chrome 4. So Chrono starts from beneath. Ain't it say you stop it police crimes, any police corruption on the streets of Ghana. It needs to start from the police service. There should be some sense of respect among the officers. The senior officers who step out with young officers, they need to prove to the young officers that I am not for granted. The people you see on the street see me, when they show me respect, they will have to, you, the young officer, you will need to show me respect. But at the point to be, and the driver for the police for the be all because they see them to be criminals. And you stop corruption in our service. We need to start from within. I have been to Ghana several times, and sometimes when I drive at night, there are a lot of barriers in Accra, and you see sometimes those take one ajo, and me share the ekoso barrier bi police officers they don't even check what is in the car. So many of them, especially in the most delicate places in Accra, Cantonment, East Legon, Airport Hills, and all those places, they don't check anything. And that is where people do a lot of crimes. That is where people carry a lot of money, criminal activities. That's where it happens. But I say, police officer who a big car, a nice car, they don't even insist to say what is actually in the car. And you see them talking to the drivers. Hey, what to say? Hey, sweetie, me who watch you. This is not police checks. And the IGP should get up one night and do his own checks and see. On driver kakra. Or sorry, Najua, he should try one day around 9 o'clock. Now on drive through Accra in a simple car. Now would you see? The police officers are more barrier, especially in Mano. I said they are flirting with every driver. A do point you to the police officer or didn't come out training. When obi o check our barrier. Now the omo sexiness be omo in come time bia omo driver CD. What is your job here? You can say police should be friendly. You can say police should be gentle. So you could see there's no sense of urgency. And people are committing a lot of quiet crimes in Accra. All because all these people who are manning our barriers and all that have become so corrupt. Especially in Mano. And I want to ask the IGP. Sometimes we go a very sensitive place. Now, young girls in you and police officers, baku jina the phone so now or TikTok. Now baku jina the phone or chat bema obuha ka jina na ohwebno na ojina phone so no kuta touch. How are you? Is everything okay? Go. En kwasia sam na ekoso Ghana no. Sometimes I sit in my car and I watch these things. And I'm like, who is checking the system? Go to East Legon and see. Go to East Legon, Baweshi Road. Go and see. All because we are not checking the system. Yakaso be enko checking enko checking a system na. Omukoduru ope enkwasiasam kwa. It's not a serious country. Yeah, the police ko jina barrier ho na dane sexy movie. Otumu police no or man number. Na police no enkoma also odi. When you're a police officer and a car stops by a barrier, your job is to check. Roll the glasses down. Let me see who is sitting in the car. Where are you headed to? Engage in conversation for the person to know, say, you are trying to know. If you or over nervous, they don't even open the glasses. Go tonight, go and see what is happening in Ghana. And the IGP will be sleeping. IGP abona wada wababa ni name I CID boss wababa ni name omu nyina dada and overcome barrier, no security in the country, no serious security, and small girls, small girls be and omu police uniform no atichire omu to omu pants nyina draw omu no mujina ho identify for the gina one as a police for the gina ho. And you could see that they are there finding men. They are not there checking, making sure security works. And these things need to stop. We are saying be friendly, don't be jantra. There are two different things between being friendly and being jantra. Yeah, mama, when you're being jantra, we know. Police ni ba to me jina eye car onim de o car nim na city et saying what bodam one else city odo na wo he kwasi asam say what to America ni broni police ni ba na ojina wa afena be say where you going afena broni ba be so odo wo he na mo jina Ghana police for man no omo the barrier na da ne jantra joints ubekọ no bi te phone so ni akobo obi tuo kwa unnecessary. We need to check these things. Moja. Adam Bagana Mbachim the end of that day. Much to be carried to Tafre woman. Adam Bachim Ogana said, Menamatica, and the chopper to be tiny in the says a cocation. Well, bears are the habitual. Me Bagana. Now our police now bet chim semetika one. Obey hey, one an hour say police won't check no. Get on, me no. You be yum. Mr. Mummy, but where there are something no could make a girls no. More nice, but I am a gentleman command Dawson. You work hard throughout the night. Obu jejina 11, 12, 1. It's difficult job. I understand. U pay sa, uni pay kase. It is not easy. You may be a ding, but just be committed to the job because you don't know who is in the car. And you know the danger in you see, you police officers are more barrier. No, your job is dangerous because who approach a car, you need to approach the car with caution because you don't know who is in that car. You don't know so akodi boni bi no oba. You don't know say any distraction kitwe bi oba try say oba interrogate maybe oba bow too. So you always have to be cautious. You are not supposed to be over friendly. You are not supposed to lose guard. You are not supposed to let it look like say this is a random check. No, every single car be a bedroom barrier be dangerous. Your life is at stake. Don't take these things for granted. This is security. Police officers, this is security. In security, nothing is taken for granted. Can now expect to say so you do not underestimate any driver, any car person. Do your job. Do not be selective. That is security 101. Men can say car where they time no be too fan call Robbie. No. Men can say car where they Ferdo, where they are big man the team. No. You do not have to underestimate any car that you are standing behind or in front. You do not have to underestimate any driver. You have the right to be nice, but you also have the right to make sure you are cautious and you are also very vigilant. Make up the dosun. Make up the dosun. It is too much. And you bring Ghana police officers and man of Jina Kwanwa. Omoni Nigeria for a difference in him. Omoja, yeah, and then we say I'm theater back on the Ambu. Mutu chimu anymore. After when Nigeria for now, ye humu, difference between Nigeria for no. Why is I dear my Mama Jumana dear my they say to me what difference no. Ye humu near Nigeria for now. Obia chidenim, police near chidenim, Nigeria near chidenim. They say Ghana for Jantra for girls no. I'm somewhere Nigeria for. Made them in Kobu, the other boys they come and meet no. I Ghana for girls on be a Jantra one kind no. Right now, Bejina Kana Oga, yeah, how far now? How much we are getting? You can see you throw Equiapuaka, you throw Equiapoma, you Kumas and Tazan of free. Or better than Cow, I don't want Nigeria and Jantra. Hey, Yenimun Sanswa, on Sanswa, Cherry be free. What do you form on Saint Kuku over here Nigeria? On Bejina, Obina Kayo. Can't be telling man, okay, cancel. Obina Kana Mete, yes, say. I don't have one more Ghana. No, they say when you know Petro Nigeria for I got what now? How much you go pay? Where may who free house on trust over so got what now? You can't be telling me that. But other boys they complaining. Boys they complaining. Boys kasa other boys wolf say the boys in the boys nanti. Aye. Internal boys kasa and then who move from friend you agent training also Nigerian. What bored them? Putting up over Gajem so where Nigeria what bored them? Near them Ghana niba. What is your Ghana niba you know? Ghana for my who oban san which you say kuku. Yet Ghana for my baby of free baby of free work as a way Nigeria. What to be sure baby and me boys neka. What to be sure baby machine ye. What to send my niba or say how far now say what bottom. Apokanye. Apokanye. Abago check. Oh bodam what be your what now? Who free a kwame kuma grow and about crab business, I open who me fantini. Sorry, open who maybe I asantini bema guys or how far now. Where Nigeria? I don't quite some no. Nancy Gentra for you can Nigeria Casa. In Tianga Dane, it can be far a year or more omokoji loan. loan companies no sebio etata nkofo harassing nkofo say obi abeji loan nti sebio ontumi ntua ya e wo say dey omko tata ne hu video bi a recently loan company bi these people are distracting me. Loan company bi ma omo workers bi tata ma bi a be controversy all over the place. Na Endra make us say so person be a loan company you need to understand say emra wo ho also di so. So person oju sika na e wo say we di sa emra no so no aju sika. There are so many people in Ghana, with all due respect, omakoji loan. Na sebio answer we beji loan na e ho kire. Na wo na wo di loan ma no, you need to let the person know say loan na wo de man no beji, but you have to take it in the right way. So we a loan company. Na say unni abotra ye fa emra no so gigi ye den ye ka and the men be a loan company no. Because the moment oba wa adwini say oba suman kofo emoma ko tata nkofo no etia Ghana mra and we are all so going to turn around against you. These are emra edaho. Now say we Ghana di no akoji loan na emra edaho a Ghana mra mu no enie. Emra ni. Now main regulator of loans in Ghana ope abanjumakua or regulate loans for Ghana primary authority no Bank of Ghana Bank of Ghana and a loan company say Ghana nyina show mase into also church say so be your license or the operate say or a loan company only Bank of Ghana pe and a bit mama sa company in the license say on to me operate as a loan company or to me man for loan. Now license and they license or lenders into company be our Ghana be a loan be no e was say company need to be prove Ghana for say a Bank of Ghana and a more license no whether a fintech apps and say microfinance and say banks say a banks a loan say a microfinance a loan and I say a fintech and I say apps na mojiji loan or hosna ni nyina no a Bank of Ghana and a work or to me no an authority no to give them license to operate in Ghana. Obia or my loan or Ghana say banko, microfinance and app amutuma loan say omuni license from the Bank of Ghana. A jumadi no mudino illegal. Now Bank of Ghana supervise the lending practices. Bank bia ana microfinance bia ana app fintech ana fintech apps ni bia omoma loan no. Also TSC say Bank of Ghana and supervises bia omo lende. Omo na omo de omo handle complaints from borrowers. And omo sa enforce consumer protection rules. Into wa okobo besia no. Wo protection no Bank of Ghana de bam. Sebio se owo some grievances and BB koso our loan company num na omudi do na nya you can report them to the Bank of Ghana omo department omo djuma die no enti sa companies na emma loans for Ghana ni nyina no we are going to start asking them for their license. We want to know say omo license no Bank of Ghana na e dia omo 2026 way omo license obetume prove chair say omo pass system ni nyina to make sure so omo license omo to me the Emma loan or Ghana. Now in simple terms no license from Bank of Ghana, illegal loan business. Company be a Ghana any license from Bank of Ghana to give loans and as Obama loan no sa company no illegal business. Jumadi omudi no jumadi a bone aban ebetumi achi omo omudi sa adwuma no. And so biba jom obiba ofie no catch us say yasuma me adwuma bank way or me license loan company but so say Bank of Ghana license mo me pese me who license no ansana one sa company na yedwuma so mo ba dwom no mo kutakuta phone so me amfa app bi to phone so but so say mo license kire say uye dwuma Bank of Ghana ma krata say mo fa ndi dwuma we no ma me hu ansana enye sa obi ebeji usike di in the name say wa ma loan na betua sike bi. Very important. Ye maamenom, ye papanom, ye nuanom a monenam Ghana baby anam akoji loan no. Some of the companies na moko wa mumu so mo say monfa mo insurance and mo license na nkyereye say ampa Bank of Ghana ama mo ho kwan say mo ma loan. That is one. It was all here. So companies say ma loan in microfinance banks or fintech apps in no. I was say omunya license for a Bank of Ghana. A Bank of Ghana nkoa and a massa license no. Now main law governing loans in Ghana, emra ebo loans ho eban ewo Ghana. So obeso oji loan o Ghana, e wo se oti ase emra sebio ebo loan ho. Mo a muti dwoma a moji jiji loan no, mo no e wo se mutie saa de we. The key law is Banks and Specialized Deposit Taking Institutions Act 2016 Act 930. Yawa emra sebio eba Ghana loan. Senya yagine Ghana bought sa loan jeno ho ban. And then your friend the Deposit Taking Institution Act 2016 Act 930. Inti Ghana mremu no yawa mra bought sa de ho ban. Untumi di loan keke yawa mra bia wa Ghana bought loan je ho ban. Sebio obi entumi tieti afa ho de so. And wo so untumi tieti obi fa ho de so. Sa okoji loan na yawa mra ho ban. And nipa na odi loan ni ma no yawa mra no ho so ban. Ni tuam ene ni jimu nyina yawa mra sebio ewo ha ye de bo ho ban. Now, this law regulates banks, microfinance, savings and loans companies. 2. Requires anyone giving loans to be licensed. 3. Makes it illegal to operate a lending business without approval. Into sa act way, bank deposit taking banks and specialized deposit taking institution Act 2016 Act 930 no. 1. Regulated banks, microfinance, savings and loans companies nyina omo na omo hwe omudwuma die nyina so. And 2, Samira way e make sure say obi obema loan bia no e was say all license that e current. Obi o ha license etwam, obi o license ewu, obi o license on register on renew 2026 only current license or sa nyoma nyina e was say o hwe ansa na oni sa company na kodi dwuma. There are so many loan companies in Ghana. Omo license we last year. Obi on a license 5 years ago, and so that when they so my loans, they are dangerous companies. Only a illegal business. They can harass you, they can frustrate you. Some will go to the extent of destroying your life. It's Debiano, I was so busa questions. Company where I'm a loan or license na valid. Because now we are going to open serious investigations into loan companies in Ghana. Omo license in illegitimate. Omo update your license. Yabeko Bank of Ghana, Bank of Ghana the list na maye. Ne yabek some list in companies omo Ghana omo loans omo license omo also more pretty. So this week we will do our job and try and get that list from the Bank of Ghana. Every single banker, Emma loan, microfinance, every fintech app, Emma loan or Ghana no. Ya do munyina din baba babu munyina din wa ha. Ya betche omo number. Into obiba na ni din ni sa 2026 list ni mo. Sa company no enye legitimate company to give loans in Ghana. All right. Now, beyanko ni na menchira wade. Now, eba eye bibia ye freno. Legal methods of debt recovery. So uko loan, and now uko microfinance uko loan company uko eye bank uko loan yawo emra ewo Ghana ewo se bank no ana sa loan company no ewo so mu diso so omo pese omo gi omo loan na ana omo kana wodi omo na obi antumi sori magine ne ka ana loan mfiri ho etide na also omo ye 1 contract enforcement. A lender in Ghana can only recover loans through into omo loans no emra wey enkwa no metuma afaso age loan sika ewo ho back se enye sa emra wey wa loan company bia ni ho kwan se odinkofo begu ka mu abetata wo fie. 1. Contract enforcement. Follow the terms you sign. Answer na sign a contract bia with a loan company, whether bank, microfinance, a fintech app or whatever bia almost loan. Make sure say contract no nim de wom. And yes, obi ba 1990 dwom shirt ebonyum oh eno me anfa go phone so you bet 1,000 now what you about 1,000 omo boa terms and conditions na wom na so ready e was say omo chechire mu kirew and yes sir so do ti ko hyase a omo be kirew. Second, apply agreed penalties or collateral into omo kire say ansa na eye den eye legal method of debt recovery. A lender in Ghana can only recover loans through applying agreed penalties or collateral. And it's very important to say, ukoji loan, whether microfinance, whether a fintech app, so now uji loan, whether any loan company, no, you need to study a contract in a year. And you say, Omubetri Soroku, Jomona, now the Chile, now see me beji loan, Monfangu me phone so mame, Debi, ebe how. Now, civil court action. The only way Omubetri aji a car, what di omo, Sawoko ji loan omuha. Sue the borrower in court. I was say one. First, Omaya follow the terms and sign on a one. Secondly, apply agreed penalties. Inti company now wone no air signing ana ukoji loan ho no. What dinkai ewu senia omo sebio so wentua. Senia kwan on befa so age. Oni omu ndi sa nkomo no. Ebia omo personal contract with you no. Oma chiro wo mu say. Sa omo ma obesia na se wanye den one wentua omo betumi di eja abehye fie. Nti o sa wo ti ase ansa na woni omo edi nsa wo so. And intina, they need to apply the agreed penalties or collateral. In terms of the loan will be on. Also, we say, hey, Namo say, Ebia loan no, me jena bia mintumen a time na, Diana Mobeye. Moba swam on call for Mama Bana, Modem Japa Debesia wana. Those are things also and son away then. When a company bia akosa terms and say, me babeji loan, mami loan. Loan, it does not matter how big. A bit my small loan, or bit my how. A bit my big loan, on bit my how. It does not matter the amount of loan I would. Into man can say me a chochoboa, me would do me ton jenny, me a magic 1,000 pe. O bet me how am I brabo in say. Oko civil court action now. Loan companies no, it is only through a court. Sue the in court. I was a company now a loan no. So the omoka I was omoko court, no court. Some person moji e kana odi omona. I was a side company no eco court. Now, secondly, I was some court na court to me more judgment. Omu to me ra court. Na omu ka omasem na court nika sampa asimesi de muka. Iti judgment ni chire say munkoje musika on ho. 3. Use court approved enforcement. Example, punishment and seizure. Inti say ode eye loan company car. I say one loan company ni court. Say loan company ni court also the woko court or the woko court. Secondly, I was a court no ejina so ema judgment. And it's a loan company got some the woko court that's a judgment in buyer on to me enforce it. Say also ojini sika. I was say one or the woko court or the woko court I also onya judgment. Now onya judgment we are I was a court no and a children send near onji sika no. Court ka say ebia garnishment and I say seizure. Into court make say okay, eka we no say na monje no. Ebia monje no sope and I say owo ejapade bu a monkwaje fantika. I was a court na chire send also muji sika no. Enye omo na also mutena ka mu ba ho ebe tatao. And remember, the first and second point is very important. Follow the terms you sign. Because company bia on the terms. Loan company bia on mra. Apart from Ghana as a country having its own laws, you know. I also tell you say you have a personal contract with that specific company. It is a way read terms and conditions now. And then I would man no be for 2 be general for the sikamano. Into the biano, sa terms and condition, I will say the biano answer about sign a contract be our own sabashas or so where they app keke. Mia yes, menya sadiano. Amu be general nuka so where they app keke. The baby be mia yes, and answer was sign, and it's a crata be bois or a coin bia loan went to ya or better tau. Now, the third point, credit bureau reporting. Almost say report defaulters to credit bureaus. Inti issue ni answer Oko Bank of Ghana. Yawo omudi loan companies car. Sa loan company no obetumi akọ akoka say Kevin Taylor de yaka 10,000 Ghana. Inti I say aniso another Emra bank no ebetumi diso loan company ebetumi diso restrict future borrowing. Inti what happens and say loan company do wudi come Bank of Ghana. What Bank of Ghana can do in say omu department na you're from credit bureau area no omu betuma restrict wo sa nipa wo tumi mbo besia biem wo Ghana. When emra sa loan companies betuma diso ajo musika omu betuma ko report wo e Bank of Ghana say asimesi the unique Ghana card ni or the 10,000 Ghana also wontua Bank of Ghana no ebetuma send the notice ama banks e Ghana nyina any loan companies nyina say sa asimesi we friend Kwame Amwako or the loan ka member obi amani loan enti sa loan companies no almost jumadi o betuma di a kwan betuma afa so e dey eden etumi dey agi omu loans eye e car wo di omu nenie. They don't have every right. Anytime make just say so almost small mo call for mo ba tata mo a, then you need to first check the personal contract you have with those loan companies. E ho ne de omo kan kire wo. Omo nam dwom no mo yesoloku no ma come for pencil jantra for say we are celebrities are. Omo pese wo ka say yes. Oh, eno we di anya den kura e app keke. Eno an say we di udin ahyem ne abo Ghana number, ne abo Ghana card number. Eno an we ba o say yes, we ba eno an betuma gilo no boa. Busa omo say loan e bia mentment ya mo de ka ba betata me. Tie free ni pano no okase da bia record no. Debi asem tina ye de evidence, ye de court nsem, ye sensan krata. Inti se wen hu sa nyoma na. Because enye obi obo bisia bia na otua, and let us get this clear. Enye obi obo Ghana eka ebo bisia Ghana bia na otua, enye obi okoji loan bia na otua. Inti se wo ye Ghana ni na so be so obi loan company, you need to also understand say it's a very difficult job. Harassment is out. You cannot harass anybody, but there are ways and means that are legitimate. Now the next one is this. 2, civil court action. Makachamo credit bureau reporting any set-offs. Defaulters can be banned from accessing loans for years. And the Bank of Ghana bit my side, set off or banks. In some cases, banks can deduct from your account if you agreed in the contract. Inti mo amobo besiano. So when tia na say loan company no Eco Bank of Ghana. Obetuma ka say oh anti edwuma otontuma ewo kaso adwom. Or the 20,000 Ghana. Bank of Ghana obia or Ghana bia or unique card bia why then we be account bia no. Bank of Ghana can trace the account. The Bank of Ghana bit my say wo anti ni mana work aswa. Now waji loan akofa bags every togo abegu na person betono. Bank of Ghana ebe to me contract na woni eye loan company na sign. Bank of Ghana bet me you sika ewo o bank account sum dia ma company no. Yes. Bank of Ghana bet much letter koma o bank say antie nima e di loans company we ka on peso betua na ye check ni nyina na hu say o save o bank we. Bank of Ghana e betumi ene o bank de di nkomo per the contractor woni loan company na sign no at a point omo betumi you sika ni bi e di ama loan company ni say sa e kana odiom no ye di tua inti very tricky. You just don't go in and say me koji loan kwase bi nam dwom no kuta phone or say je phone way ni amfa app nto so menye sa mistake no e wo say wo te eye contract na wo kona se. Now ya wanyama bi wo ha eye loan companies no omuntumi nye illegal methods common but wrong. Loan companies ye nyoma bebre wo Ghana edegigi omo loan anase omo ka eni kwemu Ghana mratia enene dean. The following are not allowed under Ghana law or Ghana law, right? Ebinie. 1. Using macho men or thugs. Adia loan company bia, bank bia, microfinance company bia entumi nye. So okojene ka 1 ontumi use macho men. 2. Ontumi intimidate, ontumi huna bia. 3. Ontumi assault it. Elsa ma me no mo kozo so mu na mo twen no. Omo ni right. Some de macho man and as some be huna and as some be so mu asaw kon asaw nsa chichiro. They don't have the right. Ghana right here. And 4, public shaming. Omuntumi ngu eni mas wo pem. Enti ade na ya na bank loan companies ni no etia Ghana mra. But remember, it is the personal contract that you signed with the company. Very vital. Sa miawesu no. Ebia umia so no na contract na woni sa loan company ni sign e kire say wentua mo metataw. You need to be careful. Sa loan na mo jeje na enkofo nam dwom na wamia okay say okay yes press yes no. Be careful. So unya very educated ama wo babia wako school and na ndie ni munya sa de ne ma wo. But adia loan company bia ntumi nye ana microfinance company bia ntumi nye ana bank bia ntumi nye so okoji loan wo mo ho na so mo begia 1 omuntumi fa bacho man bia ma ho eno etia Ghana mra obetuma report omo. 2 omuntumi entataw. They cannot intimidate you. Hey, what for skara maya? Ya kwaba ene ende wonda. Ya see ebitumi betoto bobagu nkofo dan so nyina no enimrem. Ubetumi I find ways to go after them. 3 omuntumi assault. Otu wono ma bechichire wonsa. Ye de woko ye muaw. They don't have the right. And 4 they cannot shame you publicly. No mun srew, no mun do atem, no mun go anymore. They don't have the right to do it. Now, this is criminal. Assault, harassment, and extortion. Sanyo mani nyina Ghana mremu na eye krono. So obi be tatao, obi be suso umu, obi be chwase, obi be hunahuna ni nyina eye krono wo Ghana mremu. Obi any the right, so the loan kakra obi any the right to do that. Now, seizing property without court order. Almost say no lender can just come and take your TV, car, or etc. Loan company be any who can Ghana say, obetuma ba ufie say, ya beta mo car where they call, ya befa TV where they call. The only way obetuma esa say a court amomo paper krata so obetuma esa. No loan company can come to your house and say you who fridge way or the account here tamako obi enu obetuma esa den etia Ghana mra. No loan company, no bank, no microfinance, no fintech app, nobody who gives loan. Obienwa or malona, obetuma boewura ofie say, what the your company we untia ye, into your betamo fridge ako, ya do car ako, ya betamo ba we ako, oni sam to mino. So obia try side now, you have the right to defend yourself. Unless it was pledged as collateral and proper legal process is followed. What did the other say no? Unless it was pledged as collateral and proper legal process is followed. The only time on bet my son say contract now on your sign ye no. One redeem omo kachire omu say when tia ye loan na maya ye betuma betamo car. Ye betuma betamo TV. Ye betuma befa dan. Ain't sa contract na money loan for ne sensan no. San conform na ndwom na say and you press yes, and you press yes, and you press okay no. Say Ghana mra kire say the only time obo betuma yes sa na say wogi to mu o ne omo contract mu say omo betuma fa wo dan so when tua kana omo betuma fa wo fridge so when tua kana and no crampo no o say omo make sure say omo di mra no so. That means they cannot just come and take your TV. Car. Also, go through the legal process. That is, maybe they might have to go to court to get a document to prove. Say, court am I who can say yamrambefa a japade we are with this yawa collateral a yawa. Into mumu nipa bebre na sebio mo air signing edge apps press okay press yes no mudi mo japade bebre si yawa munim. Some of the apps neba nom de nam dwom ho nom ya press okay press okay press okay. For all you know, no, in the contract, no, bibi wo ma kire say when tia ya metamo dan ko, ya metamo kan ko, ya metamo TV ko. But what the other one say press okay, omba be sesa hunyoma nyina ko. And emra no mo kwan. Even though no omuntumi ma anajo say be sesa TV no dan and o car ko no, they will have to go through the process. Why share at the end of the day we japade nyina hyerew. Enti you just don't go in. And then some of the loan companies, no, almost the side of money CSCA, our contract nim. Because we watch you winty, unyabo tell musansem, and one say where the mobile jomo, where the normal bonyum, me musana musician wake home, me musana we actor wake home, and almost say empress okay, and almost remember 2000 on bedroom wage japadina. Ain't munya very careful. Now, these are some of the things they cannot do. Nyoma we be nyina omuntu minye. Ebini say, threat or harassment, repeated calls with threats, insult or defamation. You see, loan company went in a car. Ghana mrache say, omuntumi frefre won tata wo phone so. Etiamra. Hello, yes, yeni efra we. Sikaru metia, yeba ho, sa nyoma no. Omo fra 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 so 5, I'll bet my report to a police station. They cannot threaten you. Omuntumi frank say, hey, one for sikana my de baba ho, and the end ma na, no be jan. So I'm for phone so no more threaten. Now say omu di watem and I say they cannot do that. So I'm be loan sika. Are we good? Omu to me yes sir. Say loan company would the obi loan ka microfinance fintech apps ni bi and I say bank and I say any loan company they don't have the right to be calling you every minute. Now when hey you have Jessica you have Tata and on na omu yesa muti amra You can record and report to the police. Public exposure, shaming you, posting your picture or details publicly. So loan company be within a car. Now say otamo picture elevate to social media, Facebook, radio. So I can say asimesi de car into way muna monsreno sa company no wetia Ghana mra. Loan company biya ni eye right to say. So obi de ne car obekwa publish nipa ni din wo Facebook, TikTok. Ono the company, the company account also say I unim BB. Team, are we good with sound? Are we good on sound? What's this issue with no sound, no sound? Just refresh your set. We are good on sound. Ain't it loan company be any right to say? Obeka say what did the country or the picture go to Facebook? Who are the right to sue them? Who are the right to take them to police? Who are the right to report them? Say they don't have the right to do that. They cannot publicly shame you. Calling your workplace family abusively. Loan company be any Ghana or home say or the car or before obusuafo. And I say, Obefre with Jumem, at that tower, Jumem say, Yana ya free, Kwame Amwaku with Jumo, or the cat into one country and say, Ometia, say loan company be a sa, ubet me si womo, ubet me report yomo. Omu the rights on Befre Busia for, no my fro papa, no my fro mammy, no my fro sister, and I'll bow with the cat, and one metia, or yes, I will boom rasso. Who sign your mo in loan company be any who can say or befre for obusuafo or fra obusuafo e be ka che obusuafo say wo the car ubetime si wo mo ubetime the police station oni the right so befre wo dwumam aka che wo dwumam for say kwame amwako an or the car wa beji loan etiamra. Violates privacy and can lead to lawsuits. Ubetime si wo mo. Now over illegal digital practices. Now, the Bank of Ghana has warned against one, loan apps accessing contacts and shaming borrowers. Bank of Ghana di mrebiaba say companies no use apps edema loans no. Omu need the right to say omu be get access loan app access contacts. Yet wo loan app re ono. Loan apps accessing contacts and shaming borrowers. Company in the right in say, omobe contact you. And I say omobe tatao. Say because your loan app where you use the digital loan they have to go through number what they year to frustrate you or intimidate you. Loan company be any that right to do that. Now, data misuse. It's basically what the Bank of Ghana is saying, and they say, Obienu who can say. Obetuma gina internet so obetuma go through the phone obetuma harass you through your family and that's what friend with you and that's what do picture to internet so loan company be anywhere in the car also yes sir obi obesa be utiamra and obumra so and you can sue that loan company. And anything make catch loan companies in say so when you're ready to go through the legitimate process I mean be a company no because from today adaya better say obi the loan company akotata obi or Ghana no yebegu company na ma. I am going to put this out again. After ende mo amokoji loan no one read the contract. Read the contract. And I want to put this out there. Loan companies are more Ghana. Wow, person reading a contract our platform we so Emma Ghana for who bring it. We will read it for people to know the terms and conditions. Send a beya Ghana for the company way there. Many of them sign a contract na some koji loan na. Omo dia omo tatao. Omo for the pamba ho. Mumba loan companies no let us know. But what I'm putting across in the say. So why you say koji loan or loan companies will be wa? Ebi mo wa. The contract between only omono emo mo ho kwan say nyome bia ogen say ni so mo ye because our contract nim even though Ghana mrano ya bo oho ban no oko sign a contractor one kasa wo right and a wow discretion a wow decision a wo make it. The most important thing is answer na any company be sign a contract say ubeji loan no whether it's an app whether you walk into the company's premises make sure you understand that contract. make sure you understand the contract before you sign it. Because one read the contract now, dear Ayrton Kofo Ayatata Omono, Ebibeto, I am being honest with you. Now, I'm done with this. Exactly 6:42. That is 10:42 in Ghana. Yanko straight, now take care of this business. John Dramani Mahama, the president of Ghana, Aka Asembi, and Asama Wakana is simple. Mahama to embark on resetting Ghana tour to inspect projects nationwide. And Yenina Yabeti, John Mahama, the president of the Republic, Obabe ko tour Ghana Hanyina, and the tour is to access a Juma or the ma appointees, the various ministers and the CEOs are Oma Omwe Juma se Omunye. Into from Ochina, the president of the Republic, Obestati Ako around the nation. I inspect a Juma Sebio Odiama contractors, Odiama ministers from health to road to whatever ministries, education, all the way to agriculture. Baby, John Mahama is going to travel across the nation, and or started from Ochina. Or Baba inspect Jumebia, the big push project, education, health, health facilities are Sibia Kahum, the new ones we're about to build. The president of the Republic from tomorrow, no, or Baba a nationwide tour. Into our constituency be our announcement, Sir President Ibano, make yourself available. President Wedie Otie Obiasem, into what is the president about community, about regional. If you are a member of the party, and I say even we are Ghanaian, president, you can still meet the president on location and also tell the president how you feel about things. You have the right to meet the president and tell the president your mind respectfully. Inti John Dramani Mahama embark on resetting Ghana tour and yet nationwide. Don Mahama ebeba baby inti starting in kakra. He is starting it from the Bono region from tomorrow. I think so. Ochina and Obe starting into more the first region, the Bono regional. From the Bono regional, John Dramani Mahama will be in the Bono region from tomorrow. Bono, President Mahama, Obe cut a sword for construction of first farmer service center. John Mahama she Ghana for bo say koko Ghana kuafo ne koko kuafo nko Ghana kuafo ye ba be see farmer service centers around the nation. Ochina Obe cut sword for the construction of the first farmer service center in Ghana. Farmer service center no ehona ekuafo a sebio omo bono no obi a mobeye ekue na ekachem se mumnya de inokuo inoboa from saying ekuo cooperatives se moye farmers amoye 50 moye 30 a mobetuma ko farmer service center mosi enya yedua eburo aban bema mu nyina eburo ma modua aban bema mu tractors na mo de akopa mo efuo so aban bema mu seedlings aban bema mu fertilizer na mo nyina no modɔ na mo twa wia na mo de aban sika ɔde ye adwuma no kakra na abrɛ no na mo afa mo mfaso saa na aban na yɛsɛ ɔbɛre nationwide mo amunim honorable Eric Opoku the whole Ghana maka kyerɛ mo yenya agric ministers bi aba mo homɔden. But what this man is doing is exceptional. And you cannot pick 3 ministers on my Juma over pass this man, Eric Opoku. Debia Mekacham, ya won't to Kokwase. In fact, ya won on the story to say Jesus Christ. Simia, ya Jesus Christ, I won't boom no. Ya wo Eric Opoku, I will cocoa boom. Time and anima me enyam no, Sebio Eric Opoku, or do cocoa, or do quia, and or do a fool. Nema me wono, ya would crassi. Inti ya wono no, ya won't to Kokwase. Inti only no cocoa is a friend a bo due. Eto ahomache na ne maame asori a okopensuo ene aduane abre Eric Opoku obae no na koko ahaban no eye di wegu so emebi abeso ne ketrema so enti nyansa ayesa nsuo ne di bia abrante wa adwum no eba ekuayo mu nsensem dia ene oboa. Eric Opoku has been very, very exceptional when it comes to Ghana cocoa. A Greek ministry no we leading exceptionally and aduane ko abuso Ghana aban tumi ntɔ de aka no. And then Metisoka say there was so many buffers. Baby are buying and still they are even thinking of contracting private companies to buy Adriano more to keep. It shows say the agric minister Najiri Juma into Eric Opoku in the Juma dia otiasie memfen dia gro or ka ekuasam ekuadwuma ho nsema otiasie say o church them no odwudwama odum say this was the right guy John Dramani Mahama efa no say o mehwe de ekuaye adwuma ho into ochina shortcut no ceremony no ebekoso ewo Bono region. Eric Opoku and President Mahama and Sebio omobeho ebo emoma ye sa adwumadie no I think say ebesi ewo ekronia friend saying omo be no wo I want to know the name of the town, Mr. P. The name is down there somewhere. The name no ekrodin here takurachne ehona ebesi ewo Afram Plains area ho. So Erikopoku ene President John Mahama ochina the first sword cutting efa farmer service center na the first one no ochina omekate sword ewo Afram Plains Erikopoku number 1 wa wunim we kasa bi enim Abrantie be agric minister yin hu adwuma wabo ende obi anim eduane ko ebusu Ghana ende ekuafo papa omudi no kure koko ekuafo omudi no kure hu se Abrantie adwuma dia odi no sebio esronko obi anim se ono de ba koko adwuma eba eku adwuma eba emu adwuma eba eburu adwuma eba manke adwuma cashew eba eku adwuma nkasa ye datene ketrema so ne ma megya ne tukoko aze ko pe aduane aba oba ye na de ebo ato eguri ketrema so nti oba ye no na Erikopoku ne ni ate a oti koko at the age of 1 na ondu one day na odi koko ase oti koko ebo koko oti koko ase oba na Erikopoku ese bi ohwe nkoko so a otum se Abrantie oti ase onim the types of nkoko akoko kontwa akoko skeleton akoko kumase onim nyoma onim senia de ekua adwuma ko nti Abrantie we de Ghana agric ministry no John Mahama anya mistake or de Mr. Erikopoku ekoto ano moma nyina yamwa no na yama de dwumadie no enkoso Emma Ghana emfa ntuma pa infra and farming aya kondo and akrachifo akese John Mahama or one of the biggest farmers in Ghana and Erikopoku and the likes are omotuma ba agric edwuma mu ama eku edwuma aya kondo and ekua edwuma aya kondo utumi show be me a cashew farmer utumi show be so me a peanut farmer show so me a corn farmer in the history of the Republic of Ghana. This is the only time you usenkofo they say abai yedian no edos no befa because it is because we have a government that is ready to serve and omomudi enim so enim nyansa Erikopoku and the president best starting ochina now yawo into Yaka Farmer Center now. John Mahama said, I am pleased to announce that government intends to build 50 farmer service centers nationwide in the main agriculture producing areas. John Mahama said, now by no ashebo say farmer service center na okano opposition say omubesi no ombesi edionu 50 inkura ekua pa wo Ghana omubesi pole 50 ewo Ghana ochina and almost started the first one inti John Mahama eshebo odibo no so inti baby ekua kese wo Ghana inkura ekuafo ho kese no eho na John Mahama di ni akire farmer service center no omukwa kosisi dodo no ho se na be ya ekuafo mo ho no omubetumi aye ndoboa aye ekuokuo na omotumi aba na aban aso masene se moye dipa 2030 a aban etumi mamo seedlings aban etumi mamo tractor, about to mom harvesters, about to mom insecticide, about to mom pesticide, about to mom nyoma akandia, mubetum de jumano, na muye jumani we na mutwamo nyoma ni we, na munya mfaswa, na mabetia aban nyoma moje wo hono, enti aban no eboa, amande ye hu farmers anekuafo bebra omokosa line wo bank, amakotua interest kakraka. And aban say sa asudie na eda de ekuafo so no oye firi ho or the farmer service center ne ba ye hu ekuafo a asora no pa osemi ko bank akogi loan and aban edi sebio nyoma na ba say ekuafo no beji ne free fanya adwuma na omote omoka wi a na omabetua ama aban no. This is what we call a progressive government edi ne boshe so enti John Mahama say farmer service center no omobebie 50 ewo Ghana bebia ekuadwuma ekoso pa wo Ghana mbiambia no obobesi 50 na ekuafo eho aheha omo. Now the next story no enie. All right team, stay with me. Ye nyina ne wa ha ene ete se eye close Zach for akọ strike. Na and they sorry you know. The abeti nyina ne say eye close Zach for almost suspended nationwide strike, following government appeal to resolve their concerns in 2 weeks. Aban way aban bia, for some reason, ye won't be that. Aban way tie obi asem. And this strike I call see, na Ghana for me say, oh, John Mahama aban there, oh, mfi omo, and omankasa babontin say, uni bibi, dede keke na ye. share minister no share president no aban mu mpedifo ne omkasa na yakoma to eyem omso mama aban over 2 weeks aban enya abotre na on assess situation no na on hwe se ne obetuma aye asolve eye omo concerns na momo inti ende me no ka say the leadership of Gloksak be omo so ye do sepa for being understanding say aban we nya aban a se bi obeda na chi ama eye public service and then you break John Mahama eshia eye den eye what we call labor organized labor ndwuma ku omo Ghana and the nyina hwe John Mahama ne omo kasa ye o cheche nyuma mu kire omo na de na nwanwa yakono wo John Mahama won say ohia mu na one Ghana for kasa efa governance ho a ubu ofu san kura beti ase because John Mahama no o ma wote politics na say any governance na say onye obi a obedadawo abeka kire wo say we wo ho abre ni ho and on labor unions this year on obudin komo no bebre atiase de oman no eko the president and the government we don person mo ye any that's where da homa mo even the labor unions today they understand why this government needs to lead. They understand why I was say NDC by way you more opportunity to lead for the next 41 years. If you say John Mahama church you mu chire omo ande obekọ mehwe na mehwe omo no na omo bo mutinku omati adekudie ntia abana moto ye no manya mistake Omakuma tomu yem intend almost strike no sebio strike no omutu ashada in fact 2 weeks ago omunya sure say omesa ba be de bia biam if you say aban mu mpedifo any Gloksak mpedifo no etna se edin sawoso se ne be ya nyoma ha omo from Ekufuado time Bawumia time no sa nyoma no omugidi se John Mahama aban no betuma solve inti Gloksak mpedifo no say 2 weeks de omaka na emu no omunim se aban we betuma di dwuma no na omunya omadwene se omo say backrampo abeko strike na omugidi ewa werehemu aban we mu se aban we mu no in the next 2 weeks or 1 month or 2 months no na aban we solve problem ni nyina momo inti we any asema Gloksak for and so aka this is a government edwene Ghana ho